Think we're live. All right. I actually really didn't want to stream today, if I'm being honest. I'm a bit tired. Hopefully, the stream doesn't end up being too boring. But I did want to talk about a couple of things at the beginning of the VOD. As per usual, I don't script my videos, and so I just talk about a lot of stuff. And I ended up missing a few things in that video. So I know I just put out that video, and there's probably a handful of people trying strong boxes. So I wanted to add a little bit more information about them. One of the big common questions I got with the idle sets is, hey, how about 8 mod Jungle Valley? And yes, I probably should be running on Jungle Valley. I just don't have a scry on it, but the Eldritch Altars would be better on Jungle Valley, and that's probably where you should run as well. I think I'm probably going to switch over to it, even though I don't feel like scrying a new map. Um, but one of the big reasons I started streaming and wanted to put this at the beginning of the VOD is because I was running where are they at? Strongbox. I was running with these idols here, right? And I ran something like 5 or 10 maps. Um, and I really wasn't getting that much. Like it didn't feel very good. And this is a new idol set. I ran the idol set that I did on that 80 map test, and then I made a bunch of new idols and I was trying something new, and they didn't really feel that good. And the moment I put these two idols back in and I took out some of my chance for Arcanus and Diviners, immediately I just started getting tons and tons of stuff. Like literally the next 2 maps, I drop an Immortal, duped. I drop 2 Divines. I drop 2 Valdos. I drop 2 Sephiroths. Like I went from getting absolutely nothing to just like an insane amount of currency simply by swapping these 2 idols in for 40% more quantity. It really seems to me like there is a diminishing returns on this, because when I was running a full set, it just didn't feel nearly as good. Now this doesn't really mean anything. I did a very small sample test on that. Um, strong boxes do have a massive amount of variance, so it's hard to say if I just had a really, really bad unlucky streak. But what I will say for sure is, even more so than I said in that video, if you're struggling to get these, then these are still very, very good, and they make getting your idle set put together much, much cheaper. So I'm going to run with these for a little bit and see how it feels. I just did like, yeah, like 10, 15 maps without these, and running more Arcanus and Diviners, and it did not feel anywhere close to as good. So I do think there's diminishing returns. Um, and then, yeah, as far as, you know, how to put your idols together, you can absolutely run 8 mod uh, Jungle Valleys, and you do 3% increased explicit per mod. It could be better, probably is better. You do have to factor in the cost of the maps if you're going to buy them. You also have to factor in the time that it takes you to farm the maps if you're going to self farm them. So, those two things are a factor. For me, I've been doing tons of Titanic Rogue Exiles. I've been farming 8 mod maps the entire league. I'm exhausted with it. I'm tired of rejecting them out. I'm tired of, filling up a whole quad tab and then only having a third of a quad tab left after I regex. And for me, I just wanted something more simple, so I went with the basic maps with, quality instead. But, for those of you that want to do the 8 mod, that's definitely an option. The guy that messaged me the other day, that I screenshotted and put in the details, if you read through what he told me, he was talking about it, and he was in fact farming 8 mod Deli. I believe he talks about it somewhere in here. Yeah, T16 8 mod Jungle Valley. He duped Amir, had some great success with it. So it's definitely a very viable option. It's just not what I wanted to do. Also, I think if you wanted to convert into tier 17 maps, then the 5% increased explicit would be better. Although, if I was going to do tier 17, I probably wouldn't run these. I would probably run double increased explicit, I think, with openable again. But first, what's up, Zach? Welcome in, brother. Jack, hello. Love the content, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to I'm gonna mess around with this a little bit. Some people are saying, it's still not going too good for them, and like I said in the beginning, I wasn't really planning on streaming, but um, I was running without these, and it didn't feel nearly as good. So I thought, I would test some idols out. I just duped some immortals as well as a couple of Sephiroths. I'm not going to do like an actual test. I kind of just want to blast around for a couple hours here and see what it feels like. Eventually, I'm going to swap probably over to Jungle Valley, even though I don't have a scry, just to get more quantity altars. Another thing people ask is they talk about the delirium orbs. I'm not actually positive how delirium orb functions. I should look that up real quick. But I'm pretty sure delirium orb just increases, or delirium just increases the monsters increase quantity and item rarity, and not the maps. Um, Look this up real quick. I'm probably not going to find a quick answer. It was pretty inconsistent with applying its bonuses. It does generally add a multiplicative bonus quantity to all mobs in the map, as long as it's active. The bonus amount depends on the delirium percentage. Right. Okay, so that's what I thought. Assuming that this guy is right, then delirium only adds quantity to the monsters. Therefore, it would not add quantity to the strong boxes. So you probably don't even need to run delirium. Um, it's probably a complete waste. I do think the 8 mod on Jungle Valley with explicit per mod would be very good. It's just not how I wanted to do it. But I don't think you need delirium at all. I don't think it'll affect your strong boxes at all. Do you think throwing these idols in with just Arcanist would be worth? It's hard to say, man. Just because, like, let's say you can get a perfect 70% Arcanist versus getting two 50% Arcanists and Diviners, then you're getting a total of 100% box conversion for a lot cheaper than, just 70% for much more expensive, if that makes sense. So I really do think you want both. Like I said, I just found the Immortal duped. I found Doctor duped so far, and I'm sure eventually I'll get Apothecary. I found House of Mirrors duped. Like the cards are very very good. I find tons and tons of Sephiroths. Like the divination cards really do go a long way to um, getting you a lot of currency back. So in my opinion, I would rather have two 50/50s than 170 personally. Yeah, these 20% quantities just really feel good. I'm not certain yet if there is a diminishing return or not, but it really kind of felt like there was. This 40% quantity is feeling a lot better. But again, I am running very strong idols, so I don't know how soon I'm hitting that diminishing return. If I was running weaker ones, it's kind of hard to say. I'm currently running on a budget version with 20 strong boxes per map. Hey man, if that's what you can get, that's what you can get. Um, Obviously, if you're running on a hyper budget version, strong boxes have a lot of variance in them. So it might take you a handful of maps. It might even feel like it's not even worth it. But eventually, something like the Immortal or House of Mirrors or Apothecary, whatever, is going to drop, and then just take that first initial big drop you get and reinvest it back into your idols, make them a little bit better. But yeah, I'll swap back over to these real quick, and I'll show you kind of what I mean. Like, I'll run like 5 maps with the full Arcanist Divination swap, and like even though a lot of my boxes will be Arcanists and Diviners, it really just doesn't feel like they're dropping that much. I already had a Poth dupe. There you go. Put that back into your idols. Make more and more and more. But yeah, so I started out just kind of farming off stream, messing around, doing a full setup with 900% on each, and I swear it's worse. Maybe I got hyper unlucky. That's very possible. Strong boxes, so much variance with strong boxes, but the maps they just don't feel as good to me from the limited testing I've been doing. Okay, well, we're gonna run a few. I'm not counting that. We'll see if my average is better. I literally ran 10 without seeing a single divine orb. I was still getting some stuff. Like it wasn't terrible by any means, but it wasn't anything close to what the quantity gave me. Which if you're on a budget is really good, right? Like ideally, the more quantity you can put in versus the Arcanists and Diviners is better because they're just significantly cheaper to get your hands on. But that's awesome, dude. You already had an apoth, dude. That's what's up. I mean, that's like the dream, right? Throw together a cheap set and make a quick what would that be like 50 divine right now? Something like that? 60 divine? Hell yeah, dude. I mean, I am still getting a lot of cards. I don't know, maybe I was just on a bad luck streak. Either way, however it goes, I will say that those quantity ones are definitely still worth it. Like your boxes feel very, very good with the quantity if you can't get enough. CC dip, but I'm like gambling. Oh, nice. I thought that I thought that was gonna go the other way. I thought you were gonna say you lost them all. Well, hey, there you go. That's even better. I mean, a mage blood's good, man. Yeah, it's build defining. In my opinion, unfortunately with this league, I feel like you got to go back into your idols before you go back into your build. It's kind of lame, but that's not kind of lame. It's just the way the league is designed, right? When I first started the league, I really disliked it. Um, I was like, dude, I just want to invest in my build, man. I don't want to buy these idols over and over again. And I also wasn't really sure what was good or what I wanted to even do. I knew eventually I wanted to get into Titanic Exiles, but um, yeah, I mean, I think I was spending 3 times more on my idols than I was my build, and I was like, this is terrible. Let me get another couple of divines. Maybe I was just on a crazy unlucky streak. I don't know. Really? What are Desecrated Virtues worth? 0.3? Alright, well, I don't know. I don't know what to say now. I swear I ran like 10 maps without quantity, and it was like kind of mediocre. But we'll try a handful more with the full convert and see if I keep up this lucky streak. I mean, that is definitely the thing with strong boxes. Like you can go on long streaks where you just don't get a lot. Um, but it's looking pretty good. Maybe I should. I'm probably not gonna do like an extreme test. I didn't even do that like accurate of a calculation last time I did this. Divination card currency. I don't want maps in there. We'll do fragments. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna do like a crazy. It's got 4, right? I think so. Man, the mirrors are getting expensive. I want to mirror my helmet and my shield, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do it later, no big deal." And oh, they're still in my inventory. And now mirrors are like 800 divines, so I don't even know if I'm gonna do it. We'll see. I probably will because I'm an idiot, but I tried to run some exiles yesterday after I made that video, and I was farming a bunch of idols, and it went great as always. I made them on 100 divines doing it just off the idols, which is awesome. But I was just so bored of it. Like all I wanted to do was open strong boxes. The entire time I was farming them, I was like, dude, I just want to open some strong boxes. It's just so much more relaxing and fun. And also, I've had so many people send me their duped mirrors, man, and I'm like, wait, where's mine? I want a duped mirror. Okay, I must have been just on an unlucky streak. Well, either way, listen, quantity is still very good. I ran for quantity a bit and made fucking 40 divines in 2 maps, so if you can't get enough Arcanists and Diviners, the quantity is very good, but I guess full conversion is also very good. I don't know. This is going pretty well now that I've started the stream. It usually goes opposite. As soon as I start the stream, I don't find anything anymore. What are those worth? Okay, nice. That's why I'm running Sims. Still just super chill. Yeah, Sims bore the hell out of me, but if I had a build where I could like just like a cast on stun build where I could start the sim and literally AFK, uh, I might run him more and just like watch some stuff on YouTube or something like that. A guild member was trying to get me to level a character on a second account. He was like, "Dude, you're on all the time. Just leave a second character running sims all the time." So that's pretty smart. I should, but it's a little bit maxy for me. Having to start a wave and pick up loot every 5 minutes or whatever, 2 minutes, whatever it is. I had the build. I did have the build. Wretched Defilers would have been absolutely perfect for this farm and that one. I fully expected to start the stream and be like, look, it's better to go quantity on some of your idols. But this is going really well now. So I guess the lesson here is don't be discouraged if you go 5 or 10 maps without finding anything. It'll turn around eventually. Can you please quickly show idle setup after map? Yeah, so I'm running strongboxes are rare with openable again 2 strongboxes, 5% increase explicit per 5 map quality. I guess I don't have to read it all out to you. I can just mouse over them. And then the other version of these conquerors that you can run would be 3% increase per map mod, and then you could farm 8 mod deli maps, but you would get more per map, but you also have to have a lot more setup time. So it's up to you which one you want to do. This was way too expensive. I missed with 5 12%, and then I finally dropped down to 11, and it hit the very next one, of course. So I'm losing sleep over this 11% right now. But don't do this. It's way too expensive. You don't need to do this. Just drop off the strongbox probably. Run explicit effect with currency, divination, dupe, and then the rest are just arcanists and diviners. And then 2 of them have 50% chance for an additional strongbox. But like I was just talking about in the beginning of the video, I was running with these for a while and finding absolutely nothing. And then I swapped over to these and I dropped the Immortal and a bunch of Divines and Sephiroths. So don't be afraid to use these if your currency is low. They're still very good. And they're much, much cheaper. No problem, man. I really want to. I need to scry Jungle Valley, man, but I had such a bad scry session. I scried 2 maps, which is always annoying. Like having to scry is brutal. Not even running wisps, so I don't think. I'll go check it out. I'll see if it's like heavy blue. But I'm like gonna really half-ass this. We do get blue. Where's it take me? So that's probably west, yeah. I think my angle's a little bad right here. Nope, we get there. Ooh, we get more strong boxes. Nice. This is ball around me. What's going on with that? Oh, I already opened the portal. I don't even know if these are worth the time to do, to be honest. You just don't get really that much out of the monsters that come out of the strong boxes in tier 16s, but I'm also not really scaling pack size very much, so even getting a good Wildwoods, I'm not going to get that much juice from it. But if I am going to find some currency, this will be the type of map that I do, I guess. So I'll jump in there real quick and see if there's a bunch of blue, and if it's just yellow, I'll probably leave. I'll just an idea if you already, but I noticed a lot of people keep asking about idols. You can use the idle planner just to post that link. Oh, okay. I didn't know there was an idle planner. That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to do that just to make things a little smoother. I try whenever I talk about the idols, I try to put them at the very beginning of the VOD, so people come in and just get like the direct information. And I think most of the views I get are after the stream has ended. Man, after how good that quantity went, I kind of want to go back to it though. Like, it's kind of crazy that I dropped all those cards so quickly after swapping back. The streak I had was just terrible. It was all that. It was just like a bunch of chaos orbs and nothing too crazy. Yo, loving the videos. Did you ever end up exploring blight idols? I did. I crafted them very tired, and I recombined a ton of them, and they kept missing and missing. And then I was like, dude, what is going on? And I finally noticed that the ones that I wanted to do were triple suffix, and so I just wasted a lot of my time uh, not paying attention. And now I don't know if I want to do it anymore. The whole thing was kind of based around these three mods working, and I just like wasn't paying attention, and I can't have those three mods. So, um, yeah, I basically just wanted to see if I could. I wanted to do something with this and just get a ton of lucky chests openable again, and then blight oils, and see if I could just like spit out golden oil after golden oil, um, because they're very very valuable, and even if you can't get golden, um, 184, and then I think the silvers are about half of that. So even if you can't get that, like I wanted to make the blights basically instant. I wanted to do 60% increased um, blight spawn on them with a tier of oil higher, and then um, a bunch of reopenable again, and all kinds of stuff. And I think I would have to drop off the speed of the blight, which would feel kind of bad. Like I think it would only be good if you could just like basically open the blight and then the blight's done kind of thing. But I can't do that. So I don't know. I may still end up trying it, but I'm a little less motivated for it now than I was. I'm gonna go back to the quantity. I know I got really lucky with those couple of maps, but I kind of feel like the unlucky streak was more accurate and that the quantity is better. It's so hard to tell with strong boxes. There's so much variance in them. But these felt so good the moment I put them on. Feels terrible without blight speed, honestly. I'm messing with it at the moment and only 180% speed, and it's not very fast. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I thought too. Um, yeah. How's it going for you though? Like, what is the setup you in for? I don't want to sell maps. I know that. Like, I just want to farm oils. I don't want to do the tedious work that is selling maps. So if I do it, it's going to be just targeting oils. Maybe Blight Ravage maps, I guess, but I don't like selling the standard tier 13 through tier 16. They just take forever to sell. But I'm curious how it's going for you and the setup that you used. I do love Blight. Blight's one of those things that I can run for like a couple of days and have a really good time doing. Um, but that's about the extent. I can't really do it for much longer than that. So I'm a little hesitant to do like the crazy explicit effects on my conquers and stuff because I know whatever I make is going to cost me way too much and I'm never going to make the money back and nobody else is probably going to want it. And I've already burnt probably fucking 5 years this league just crafting stuff that nobody wants. Currently got 15 lucky with 20% reopen. I hit a golden every 2 or 3 maps on average. Probably need to spend more on idols and truly ramp it. Well, that's actually pretty. Oh, sorry, boys. Um, that's actually pretty good. Every 2 to 3 maps is insane, especially if you're not running like top tier idols. That actually motivates me to want to do it more now. Because my thought was like, if I could, how long does a map take you? Like, do you just blast straight to the blight and then open it and then go new map? Because that's kind of the plan I was having. But if you can get a blight every 2 to 3 maps, then I might actually craft this thing. Because I'll probably put increased explicit on it and bump up the quantity of the map. Like 50% more or whatever it'd be. And then try to get like a golden oil every map, plus the occasional silvers with it, or probably a lot more silvers than golden. Oh, you're on a low sample size? Okay. Well, that's good to know. So you might just be on a bit of a lucky streak. But it's still 3 to 4 minutes. A blight. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's not so much your build, right? That's more the blight spawn, right? One thing you could try, I know early league when I was messing around with some blight, because I think it is the very first thing I tried, is I'm not gonna do the Wildwood skin. I think that blue purple one is about the best I was gonna get. I didn't see anything for it. I don't think it's worth it in this. Just eats time. But one thing you could try early league when my build sucked, I did a little bit of blight on like day one, I think. And if you get the small idols with reduced tower cost and reduce it enough, it actually makes your towers completely free to upgrade. So you can just like upgrade a full set. Hey yo. I think they came out of this. I don't think these must come from the mobs. Because that's twice where it seemed the strongbox popped, and then I immediately got a void boin. Holy shit, void born. And it wasn't duped, so I think it has to come from the mobs. But it's just weird that it keeps happening right as the strongbox pops. But it's not duped. Did I finish saying what I was saying? You can make your towers free to upgrade, so you can basically set up a full set of towers to help you defend the blight for absolutely free before you even start the blight. So if you have a really weak build, that could be beneficial. And if you're able to get a golden oil every 2 to 3 maps, I mean that's pretty insane for a starter strategy. It's kind of like super insane, honestly, especially if you can make the towers free and basically run it naked. Could be really good. Have enchanted rings or anything? That's crazy, dude. Got even if I'm running like a full mirror build, I still enchant my rings if I'm gonna do blight. Low key forgot. Yeah. Yeah, that shit's so good, especially if you're having a hard time with it, or your build's on the weaker end, I should say. You're just like getting started. Those ring anoints are huge, but I guess if you're not failing them, it doesn't really matter. I don't know why I didn't think about delirium not actually affecting the boxes. I think I did think about it, and I still threw the delirium orbs on. Kind of a waste of currency, I'm pretty sure. I also saw that these went up in price. Don't pay full price for these. It looks like these are like 10K off when I looked today. Was it these ones? Oh, maybe the market was just messed up for a bit. But whenever I'm buying stuff like this, don't ever pay full price. Just put in a buy order over the two scarabs down there, and it'll take you no time at all to fill that up. I was gonna do a containment strategy. I had a whole thing set up. That was my plan for the next stream today. It was like 172 invested, and then I ran a couple of test maps just to be like, let's see how it feels real quick before I go through 60 maps here. And nah, dude, it's not the move. Maybe if you don't go strong boxes and you do Double explicit maybe it could be better, but dude, you just invest so much into your maps that it's like for the headache that it is, it would have to be so much significantly better than this in order for me to want to do it, and I just don't think it is. Not never fail, only if I AFK catch a chaos degen. Oh yeah, those chaos degens with blight. Those are always annoying. What is this wildwood luck? All right, I gotta go in this one. We'll see if there's blue. There's blue. I'll do one more wildwoods, but every time I've done them with this, I get literally nothing out of it. Oh shit, was that north? Uh-oh. I think I'm bricked. All right, well this one's dead. How was that north? That's crazy. Oh, it wasn't north. I just went the wrong way. It was north. Okay. Well, that's all right. If I'm gonna run these, I want to spend like a minute in them max. It's not like tier 17 where, if you hit like a good one, you can actually get some currency out of it. Yeah, that's I'll have to mess around with it then. I wanted to do it and then I lost a little bit of motivation, but if with like a mediocre idle set you can get it every 2 to 3 so far, then I'm kind of inspired again. I already have the Conquerors crafted for the most part, but if I really want to craft them, I should put on explicit effect as well. But just really, really expensive for a maybe farm. Haven't hit once since that, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay, fair enough. Probably like strong boxes, right? Just a lot of variance. Are you getting a lot of silvers though? Because I mean, silvers will help as well. And I gotta imagine if you're making all your boxes lucky, you probably should be getting some divine orbs and stuff too, no? Oh, it's artisans. Another one sold. I've been making a lot of money off these today. From selling none to selling them all. That's a cool one to hit. Lucky. 3 or 4 to a gold? Oh, so you're finding tons of them then. What are the noises you do? Burning ground and I do the chilling towers personally, but there's a couple different strategies. You can also increase your empowering towers, but I think the general consensus is that chilling towers 0.2 per second, point what is it 0.2 slow or whatever that one is the best. But you can also increase your empowering towers, and then that way you do a stun, a freeze, and empower in between them, and I think that pretty much locks everyone down, even the immune guys, because if they're immune to freeze and they're also they'll get stopped by the stun. But I haven't run a blight for like not seriously. I haven't run it seriously for a very long time. I think usually when I do it, I just do the chill towers and burning ground. Yeah, and it's definitely a lot of cards, man, from the 40% quantity. That's pretty damn good for one box and one open. And like I don't really feel like I'm losing all that many Arcanists and Diviners. Like I see an Armorer's here, Jewelers, bunch of blacks. Okay, maybe it's not diminished. I don't know. I do think both are really good though. I wish I wasn't burnt out from farming the 8 mod maps. I mean, it probably would be a little bit better to go 8 mod, but I don't know. It takes a lot of time to get the 8 mods too, so like with this, I just get a slap on quantity, hit a quick regex, and I'm back in the map. Like, I'm also not paying 20C a map if I decide to buy them off TFT. It's not that trading time. You know, with the way this is set up now, these maps are literally costing me like 25 or 30 chaos. You know, if you add 20 chaos to that, you might make some more back, but you're also basically doubling the cost of your maps. So, is it worth it in the end? I don't know. Didn't try that, but it's probably not that much better to be honest. Sometimes with simple strategies like this, you can end up. Oh, well, that's skewed. I got 120 from. I have no idea what I got. That's right. I'm not doing it for like a full test. Just kind of get an idea. But yeah, sometimes with like simple, cheap strategies like this, where you're trying to, keep your costs down and just kind of go for lucky drops, and sometimes you can overcomplicate it by adding more stuff like 8 mod or delirium and all this other stuff. Sometimes the more simple the better, just because you can go so much faster with it. The downtime is a lot less. Not saying that's the case. 8 mod may be better. I'm not saying that that's true with this or not. I didn't test 8 mod. I definitely see the potential of it, but this is how I wanted to do it, so this is how I'm doing it, and it's paying plenty well enough for me. But like that containment, I mean, you can see. Oh, did I close it? I think I closed it. I didn't close it. Like 60 maps for 170 divine, you have to get so much more out of your maps in order to make up this. Like, ugh. It's a lot of extra work for probably not that many more divines, to be honest. I mean, each map's like 8 to 10 minutes. Ugh. You know, why? Why do all that extra work when you can just throw in map after map, not have to think about anything, not care if you don't hit some good strong boxes for a streak or whatever. You still think Quan is king? What in relation to strong boxes? Yeah, I'm really undecided. It's kind of hard to tell. What I would have to do is I would have to go through and actually test out like a full, probably a couple hundred maps on both sets. Yeah, yeah. I'm not really sure either. There's so many different divination cards in the game, and you get so much random different stuff. Sometimes it's insane. Sometimes you go on some unlucky streaks, so running 10 maps here or there is never going to tell me the answer. Um, I've had lucky streaks with both. I would definitely have to do like a good couple hundred maps on both to really get a feel for it. And I may honestly, I'm enjoying these so much more than Exiles at the moment, so I may set up like a 200 map test on both or something like that and see whether the quant or the just straight Arcanists and Diviners is paying more. I'm kind of feeling like I'm gonna run these until I do Pamir. With the amount of people I've seen do it, it definitely seems like a possibility. Just because I've never duped Amir, and that sounds pretty cool to me. probably should do the test this stream. I wasn't really planning on streaming, like I said in the beginning. I'm a little tired today. Probably won't go for too long, but I think the next one I do, I'll set up an actual test. It'll probably make the stream a little more entertaining as well. If there's a goal and a purpose behind it. But mostly I just started today because I had a really bad luck streak with the non-quantity, and I've had a couple people either comment or message me, and they're like, "Man, I've been running these strong boxes. I've opened a bunch, and I don't ever see a tink, and yada yada." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that can happen with strong boxes." And then I had it happen to me, and I was like, "Damn, maybe quantity's better." But honestly, I think either are fine. It doesn't matter which one you do. Just open more strong boxes, and you'll get the currency falling for you. Oops, what are we on? What am I on right now? I think I'm on the quantity ones, right? Yeah. Just a wild stroke of luck that. Ooh, almost good. Wild stroke of luck that the moment I swap over to the quantity ones, I have a couple of the best maps I've had for a while. You think going over 500% for Div and Arcanus is good enough? Yeah, I mean, it's got everything in this game has diminishing returns, right? But like, I mean, do I count the number of Arcanists or the number of non-Arcanists and Diviners? I'll count the number of non, I think, because I have a consistent 27 every map. So we got one, two. This is gonna be tough. Okay, where do I start? This is gonna be so hard to count. One, two, three, four, five, six. I'd have to do this a few times to get like a good idea. So far we have six up front because so far I have six up front, but I'd have to do a few counts because there's variance in how many you actually get. But I mean, almost all of these being diviners and arcanists, except for six, is kind of insane, right? Like I think if I add in those other four idols, I don't think I would do better than that. I think I counted those right. Let's open a notepad here. I'll do like five maps where I count them. Maybe we can get some like rough idea of if there's a diminishing return. I know five won't be like a great sample size, but maybe get us in the ballpark. Almost out of maps too. I'm making the swap over to Jungle Valley, so I may have to run a tier 17 real quick to restock on maps because I probably didn't farm enough to be mass rollable yet. But I think I only have to farm one. Nah, I'm probably just gonna farm one anyways. I'd rather roll through half a quad tab than try to juggle through like 30 maps or something like that. Oh yeah, I'm counting. That's right. So, Canis Diviners. This feels like a pretty lucky map. I don't know if I usually get this many with the quantity. Maybe I should do like 10. I just don't know if I want to count strong boxes on 20 different maps, to be honest. But I probably should. 5 is a pretty low number to get a rough idea. What's new about these idols? I had a really bad streak just running pure Arcanist and strong boxes, And so I swapped over to quantity. I did two quantities instead, which immediately dropped me a couple of immortals and a bunch of divines and sephiroths, which is pure luck. It's not saying that if you swap to those, you're going to immediately find a bunch of really high tier stuff. But I wanted to start the stream because I know some people have had some bad luck streaks, and also these idols are very expensive to get the Arcanists and the Diviners. So just kind of wanted to show people that you can still find a ton of stuff with just quantity. It might even be better. It's kind of what I'm testing right now. Is I honestly wasn't paying attention. What was that? Two more? We'll call it three more. I think there's three. I got caught up talking there and I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, I'm doing a test right now to see if there's like what the difference is between running the quantity versus a full set of Arcanists and Diviners. I'm trying 4 slots into quantity to see how many strong boxes I actually lose from doing this. So I'm pretty sure that one there was 9 non Arcanists and Diviners. Um, I do believe. Uh, that's probably like 4 or 5, maybe. 8% might be a little low, and it's quantity and not pack size. We'll try 4. Lower it down later. Probably not that much. Oh, but yeah, don't if when I logged on, these went up to 10 chaos each. Don't do 10 chaos. Just put in the buy order. Now they're down to 2. Just put in 100 and do 200. That's how I buy all my scarabs. You get half price on everything. Don't just buy them outright. It takes no time for people to fill this order. You get much cheaper scarabs. All right, round 2. Yeah. You have to imagine quant is better, but it has less potential. Um, what does that mean? How does it have less potential but better? Lower chance to high roll. Um, but you think quant has a lower chance? I would think quant has a better chance to high roll. Shit, dude, I'm not paying attention again. Was that 2, 3? I need to go through and count them all before I open anything. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this one seems like a lot worse. I'm gonna say 9 because I think I missed one. Oh, that'd be cool if it was like a consistent number every time. That would be awesome. There's no way it's gonna be like that though. 10, 11, 12. We'll say 12. I might be off by a couple. I need to pay better attention when I open these maps. I need to just count real quick before I respond to anyone. But better short term. God, that was worded horribly. I mean, I think I get what you're saying. I guess, and I think like better potential, then that would be like the one with worse potential is just worse. The one with better potential is just better. But I think I do get what you're saying. Um, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, 40% quant is a lot of quant, especially if there are diminishing returns. So it's very possible that like just a 1 or 2 quant idols, maybe even 3 for all I know. I don't know yet, um, but very possible that ends up winning out in the long run. Yeah, I'll have to do 10 maps each because there's the last one is almost pure Arcanus and Diviners. There's 9 versus this one looks like roughly around 12 missing. So there's going to be quite a bit of variance in the percentages. So I don't think 5 is going to cut it because this one is significantly worse. Did I get them all? I think I got them all. Oh, no, there's one Arcanist. But yeah, I mean you get fewer, but the ones that you do get just drop so much stuff. I mean it's kind of insane. All right, where is this guy at? Who am I missing here? Will be keen to test out yourself as well. Yeah, I mean, I did very little testing. I just before I made that video, I just threw together an idle set, and I was like, hey, this worked really well. But I've done zero min maxing. I guess that's kind of what I'm doing right now is seeing what these look like with some quantity versus a full set of Arcanis and Diviners. But kind of like I was saying earlier, the real test is I would have to run just a ton of maps to get in like a more accurate number and probably remove the hyper lucky drops. But it's just so hard to do with strong boxes because the whole thing is kind of based around hyper lucky drops. But let's kill some of these guys real quick. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I got those ones already. Should have done this on Jungle Valley too. 13. 13 on this one. Okay. So we had 9, 12, and 13 so far. Hopefully, it's kind of hard to count these all together and not recount them, but I think I'm pretty accurate so far. I think if there's not diminishing returns, then there should be a pretty glaring difference by raising up your boxes by another, 70 times 4, 280% each, right? Like I should get a pretty consistent like 7 to 9 that aren't when I swap idols back versus, 9 to 12. If anyone sees me miscount, please let me know. For anyone who's actually paying that close of attention to the stream. I feel like Strongbox, like the basic ones, they can drop Divine Orbs sometimes, but it's so infrequent. I don't even know if they're really worth the time to open. The real question is like, even if I can get some solid numbers on the Arcanist versus Divine Orbs, and if there's diminishing returns, then someone smarter than me is probably gonna have to do the math on what's better. A lot of numbers to factor in. But luckily we play POE, so those guys are out there. I created some like semi-smart farms on Path of Exile 2 and made some videos about it. And dude, the amount of like mathematicians that I got messaging me, I was like, dude. Some guy wrote a comment that was ended up really being really cool. I ended up making a whole farm off of it. But I swear I had to read his message like 3 different times to fully understand what he was telling me about some breach and gold being converted into currency through rarity. There are some smart dudes that play this game. Have you considered change your 2x2 from 5% explicit to 5% and run 8 mods. Well, for one, I don't think Delhi's the best map. To me, I just enjoy, or I'm sorry, I don't think Glacier is the best map. It's just the one that I have the scry on, and I just think it's kind of cool to have all the boxes up front. I think Jungle Valley is by far your best choice to farm these on. Oh, should I get a count? Sorry, 1 second. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're getting pretty consistent numbers here, I think. 12. Maybe I either miscounted on that first map or it was a bit of a fluke, but so far we're at 9, 12, 13, 12. But yes, you can absolutely run explicit with 8 mod, and it could be better. I just didn't want to farm the maps. Like that's always a thing you have to consider. You have to spend 20 chaos per map, or you have to self farm them. Did I count this one? I don't know if I saw this one. But yeah, you either have to add 20 chaos to the cost of each map, which does add up, but maybe you'll get so much more from it that it's better. I don't really know. I didn't want to farm the maps. I farmed quad tab after quad tab after quad tab of 8 mod maps for Titanic Exiles, and I just didn't want to do it again. Plus, this was supposed to be sort of a strategy that was accessible for new players, more than like a Giga Juice perfect version of it. And I think that anyone who has a build that's capable of running these smoothly on 8 mod Delirium probably knows that they can also do 8 mod Delirium with 3% increased explicit versus 5% per quality. But it could be better. I don't know. It could be insanely better. I don't know. I think if you factor in the farm time and or cost of the maps, it's probably not that far ahead. But it could be a little bit ahead. And it also could just be more fun, right? Like, yeah, you got to go through the process of farming the maps, which eats a bunch of time. But once you actually get the maps and you're in there, maybe your maps are just like raining cards and divines, and maybe it's super cool. Definitely not a bad way to try it, I don't think, if you don't mind farming the cards or the maps. I showed it at the beginning of the stream, but yeah, the guy that messaged me that said he duped Amir within like his first 100 maps, he was farming 8 mod Jungle Valley. So again, he didn't even dupe a lock, so he got tier 0 and he got the very lucky end of it, but still, obviously it's good. All right, I'll say if this lands around 12 again, that's probably going to be pretty close to my median, I think. And I just got a little lucky on the first one, and then I'll swap over back to the Arcanus and Diviners and see if we get like a consistent, 7 to 9 or something like that. So we got 1, 2, 3. These are a little tougher to count. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This one's definitely a lot worse. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Damn, this one's way worse. They say 18 or 19. I think I said 19, right? That's pretty rough. 9, 12, 13, 12, 19. I'm gonna have to do 10 maps total. That really threw everything off. What's up? Not too much, man. How you doing? Just messing around some Strongbox and seeing if I can get some more information into the community. Maybe help some people build a bit of cheaper sets by going with quantity over chance for Arcanists and Diviners. If I gave you 100 to gives to put together an idle set for scarab farming, would you? I have no idea. I've heard that it's really good. I don't think I like scarab farming. I don't like selling the scarabs. And then if you want to bulk sell them, you gotta give up like 30% of your profits. So I'm not a big scarab farmer. It was really, really, really good with the initial idle set that I did with Titanic Exiles. And then people found the scarab farm, and idle scarab prices just completely tanked. So did my idle set for Titanic Exiles, unfortunately. But when all your scarabs are like 5, 10 C each, or 2 divines each, then scarab farming is really cool. But when 90% of them are zero point 0.1 chaos each, then I don't really want to scarab farm. However, with that being said, I've heard some people having some really, really, really good success with scarab farming. So yeah, I mean, it could go well, but I don't want to give you any answers because I don't have any first-hand experience with it other than in the beginning of the league, doing it on Titanic Exiles. Okay, I need to pick up some more maps real quick, and I want to run on Jungle Valley, and I also think, um, how am I going to do this? Probably just put these glaciers into that tab. I don't really think you find that. I have Fortunate Scried, and I do find a handful of them. So I will definitely lose some currency not running a scry, but I don't know if it's really that big of a deal. I honestly think that the quantity alters will probably pay more, and I think the excitement of just blasting through those initial strong boxes, since so many of them are front loaded on Glacier, I think the initial excitement of that has worn off on me a little bit, so I should probably run on the better map. Oh, I did it on farming quite a bit. That's nice. I think I still want more than this to mass roll, though. And with the right idle setup in tier 17s, it takes 0 time to farm a lot of these. Fortunately, I have very expensive idols from Titanic Exiles that make map farming very easy. If you're curious about map farming, I just run 3% increased explicit with 6% increased pack size. No, these are not the best. I'm sure they could be improved, but it's what I made early on, and they work well enough. And then the small idols are just enough small idols to get your tier 1 through 15 one tier higher with a singular focus. And then, shoot, I always do this. And then the expensive part is from my Rogue Exile set, where I run pack size with, the expensive idols. Fortune favors the brave stuff. and then just a escalation, 3 multitude, and a bloodlines um, in a tier 17 with 100% maps. Simple enough aside from those very expensive 3x1s that I have. 100% more maps. It's good to me. Fortune favors the brave. Make sure that Jungle Valley. Okay, 100 for Strongbox instead. Sorry, I was staring at my Scarab tab at the moment. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I think you could. I think you could put together a really strong set for 100. Very, very strong set. I think like the big killer is the 9% openable again. If you don't go for that perfect 9, then the set is so much cheaper to craft. And then also, the 70% are. I was just doing it because I don't know, I was feeling like a bit of perfectionist. I was having so much fun with it that I started. I should probably turn this down a little bit. That's going to get old. I was feeling like a bit of a perfectionist, and I had so much fun that I knew that I was going to be farming strong boxes for a bit. Um, so I went a little crazy with reinvesting. But honestly, what I paid for mine, I don't even think I'm going to end up making back unless I run like 1,000 maps. I won't make it back versus, if I had just done like 67s or 65s or something, you know what I mean? Like the amount I paid for them is not worth it at all. But we're at the stage of the league where I have nothing else to do except make a pretty looking idle set, so why not? I think I should only have to farm one of these. The setup I'm running also, if you did want to do the 8 mods, this is very strong for farming the 8 mod maps as well. Just swap out one of your multitudes for 8 mod, and I think I was filling up about 60 to 90 maps every tier 17. But again, you need those very expensive 3x1s, so probably not accessible to everyone, I understand. I just happened to also be farming Rogue Exiles, so I had them laying around. I think you over sustain the maps though. It's plus or minus a few. Maybe you'll have to farm some here or there, but I think I was over sustaining based on the limited 80 maps that I tested when I did the initial test. Aw, man. Chance to be duplicated here. Unlucky. I don't think I put quantity on this map. Now that I think about it. Have you ever done no hit in Sanctum? I have not. I hate Sanctum. I played yeah, I played a lot of hours. Like 3.15 up until Sanctum League, and then when Sanctum League came out, I quit the game for like a year. I hated Sanctum League. Just for various reasons, but I'm not a fan of things like Simulacrum or Sanctum or that kind of like super repetitive stuff where you're like in a room and nothing ever changes. Heist can be fun. I'll do heist for like a couple of days. It can be really fun. But yeah, that was a really long answer for no, I have not. That's clearly not a lot either, huh? I should probably do one more. Just makes rolling them so much easier, and then I'll just be stocked up forever. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, I should quality this one though, eh? There's something so satisfying about farming maps, especially 8 mod maps. I don't know why. When I've done it too much now that I don't love it as much anymore. Actually, I like farming the maps. I don't like the part where I regex two-thirds of them out. That's the part that kills me. Because when I was running Titanic Exiles, I just have to run a pretty strict regex. But something about just like spitting out 60 maps that are 8 modded in a tier 17 feels so good. Just hits that dopamine receptor every time. Why do you ask about the Sanctum? Are you looking for advice on it or something? 20 people in here. There might be somebody that could help you out. My build is so scuffed right now. Just I went into like full AoE. I can't even recover my energy shield up past 7,000 because I switched my flasks around. It's definitely not my ideal skill passive tree, but just wanted to get a bunch of AoE for the strong boxes, and I didn't want to buy any flasks. That's man goal for this league. Was just curious. Yeah, I mean, I mean, if somebody in chat can't help you out, then I'm sure there's 100 videos on it. I feel like any video you see about Sanctum that has an Asian name on it is the one you want to watch, or Asian lettering, I mean, Chinese or whatever. Those guys, uh, those guys always figure out all the cracked builds for like something like Sanctum. I should try it one time. I'm not a big fan of running Sanctum over and over and over again, and I never would. But if I have a different goal behind it, like trying no hit or something, that's something I could get behind. Well, miles away from it at the moment, but I'll for sure do my research as we get closer. It probably there's I bet you could do it for pretty cheap, can't you? I think it's more of a skill thing versus a build thing. I mean, obviously you'd want high DPS, so things aren't on the board for very long, but I mean if you're going for no hit, then you don't really need defenses. Thought I disabled these. I redid my filters to make a tier 16 for one to make it more clear because a couple people started copying the filter and I had it labeled as 3.26 along with a bunch of like other freshie idols and stuff that I hadn't updated since like day one. But I think when I copied it over, it made some changes that I didn't really want. Yeah, I feel like if I was gonna go no hit, I mean I have not looked at the strategies at all, but I feel like I wouldn't even put a single life on my character. or defense at all. I would just go pure movement speed and damage, but I don't even know if movement speed is the way. No hit Sanctum kind of sounds like too much movement speed might be bad. End up making you like run into traps on accident or something. Sometimes too much movement speed makes it hard to dodge. That's looking a lot better. Nope. That's not where I wanted that to go at all. All right, I'll be back in 20 seconds. All right, we're back. I should roll for 80% pack size, but I guess I just don't really care. It's fine. Most of these are probably white to start. Oh, I missed a bunch of stuff in chat. Give me 2 seconds. I have to focus on drawing my lines here for a second. Original Sin, baby, no hit, 1.3 mirrors. What is a? It's pretty expensive for that idol though, isn't it? Or relic? It seems so risky, man. You'd have to practice it over and over and over again before you actually bought the relic. Seems so sketchy. 'Cause it's like 600 divine for the relic, isn't it? Does player IIR affect strongboxes lucky drops? No, sir, it does not. The only thing that affects strongboxes is the natural map quantity. From what I understand, that's from a very old, I think, wiki post or something like that. But that's all the information I have. From what I have understood for a long time and heard for a long time is that the only quantity that affects the strongboxes is the natural map quantity. And I was talking about it a bit earlier. I think that includes delirium as well. I've been putting delirium on my maps, but I actually think it's just a waste of currency. I don't think the I think the quantity from delirium only affects monsters and not the map itself. So it would also probably not affect boxes, but I am not positive on that. Delirium orbs, I think, have been mostly known, but also a little unknown as far as how their quantity is applied. But I just put in a buy order for 3 chaos per delirium orb, so it cost me nothing to do. Why not? I think the strong boxes will probably be a lot easier to count on Jungle Valley too, since they won't be so grouped up like they are on Glacier. I think I still have a really strict regex from when I was leveling. That's not too bad, I guess. It's not too good either, though, but it's fine. Scours and Alks are very cheap. Could you explain Wildwood? I don't understand it. Yeah, I could explain it. I'm okay at running it. I didn't play Affliction. That was one of the leagues that I took some time off from the game, but I have run a lot of Wildwoods just from doing Titanic Exiles. But and usually I get to three, unless I find an extension, then I'll hit four. But I do still whiff it from time to time. But what uh what part of it don't you understand? Just like everything, or I'm finding a lot of Wildwoods running this, so maybe I can explain one in real time the next one I hit. I'm not running them while doing these strong boxes because I don't think they are worth it for tier 16 strong boxes, but I can definitely run a couple to give you an example. But basically, it's just a diamond. Um, I'll pull out paint real quick and show you. Basically, it's a diamond with your the four places you want to get to right here, and you can either spawn, somewhere over by one of these, or you can spawn in the center. And basically, when you jump in, it's your job to kind of assess the walls around um, around the wildwoods to kind of try and pinpoint where you're at. And it can be very tricky sometimes because they'll put false walls in the map throughout the center. So like you'll run out this way and then hit a wall and you'll think that you're on the east side, but in fact you're on the west side. So it's a bit tricky and sometimes you kind of just get screwed. Um, but the goal is to, say you start here, you kind of follow the packs of monsters and the wisps, try to use whatever you can to get a feel for where you're at, and you want to hopefully find the one that you spawn next to. And then from there, you can either split off northeast, northwest, in either direction. And say you run out this way and you hit a wall, and you try not to burn up too much of your um, darkness as you go. But what you're hoping for is that you go the right way, and if you go a certain distance and you kind of know that you're going in the right direction, and if you can find these initial two, then you can be certain that you can find the next two by just going in a diagonal line to hit the next ones. And it's basically it's very very tough to hit all four without an extension. There's two little wisp balls. There's the small one and there's the big one. They're like the little orbs of glowing light. The big one is whatever. You don't need to burn darkness to find it. All it does is open up an area, but the small one extends your duration down there. And so you want to get that one every time you can. It can help to, you don't have a widescreen monitor, to go into windowed when you go in there to extend out your vision a little bit, so that you can see these off in the darkness. But it's pretty hard to hit four without an extension. Unless you spawn in the center and you identify it right away, then you can just run straight up north, straight down south, straight east, and straight west, and you can almost always get all four. And you can usually tell because there'll be a lot of wisps around you when you spawn in. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the crash course with it. And it takes a lot of practice. I'm still not that good at them. Sometimes you just hit walls. Sometimes I think I'm somewhere where I'm not. And yeah, they can be kind of just a pain in the ass. And then blue is your best, purple's your second best, and yellow is your third best. But ideally, you want like a good combination of all of them with more blue than anything else. Is like your best wildwoods. Wait, what? Oh, that's for exiles. Hold on. That's better. All right, that's probably enough maps. Let's go back to counting boxes. Let's see what we got. Evening, bud. Evening back to you, sir. How you doing? For my OCD, I have to reorganize. The more I'm thinking about it, I really think it's just a waste to put these on, especially like the currency ones. I don't know, the currency ones, they usually pay you back, but I really don't think this is giving you more out of the strong boxes at all. I'm pretty certain. Crafted a decent strongbox idols and did the strat you made a video on, and it's great. Thanks. Absolutely, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I've had it. I've heard it both ways. Some people say they craft it, and then they dupe a mirror or some really big cards, and they message me and say thank you so much. And then I have some other people that are like, I crafted a whole set and I haven't found anything in 5 maps. You're a mean, terrible person. And I'm like, sorry, man. I promise you, just open more boxes. You'll get there. Improve your idols. It'll get better. All right, let's pull out 5 real quick. Still on the box counting. Pretty good. Just finished working. Back to farming boxes. Nice, man. Are the boxes still paying for well for you? I referred to you in my video when I made it. You were the guy I was talking about. Pretty cool to have you go from making 5 divine a day to 16 divine real quick. I had a question. If I only have one conch idol with percent openable again, is it worth dropping a scarab for 15% openable again? Ooh. I think you have to do the math on that. I'm out, homie. Best of luck. Thanks for the runs. No worries, dude. Take it easy. Yeah, I think you just have to do the math on that, right? So let's say you have 25 strong boxes. Wait, how am I gonna do this math? I'm so exhausted today. I'm like my brain is half speed. Um, but let's say you have 25 strong boxes, plus what's that scarab? 15% openable again. So that scarab is worth 3.75 strong boxes, and then you can go a little deeper and uh, plus 15%. I think I'm doing that right. So it'd be about 4 strong boxes, right? Whereas this one is 5 strong boxes. I think the ambush scarab's better. I'm pretty sure I did that right, but I'm pretty out of it. Okay, and we need ambush. Dun dun. Looking good. Okay, we're in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Missed one in the top corner here. It's Arcanist. 12, 13. We're back to our median pretty much. So far I've had two pretty big flukes. Hey, where are my quant altars at? Lame. Sounds good to me. Ambush it is. Gonna see about combining some to get openable again. Yeah, I mean the openable again is really big for sure. How much does this crush my resistance by? Oh, uh, I might need to be able to recover a little higher than that amount of energy shield. That was a pretty heavy resist drop. This is exactly where I'm at, farming harbingers and making okay currency. Farmed 100 divs for strongbox idols, but I am lost. Oh, that's not good, man. What are you lost on? Just like which ones to pick to craft or how to do it or 100 divs is definitely good enough to put together a set, I think. It's not going to be like the most omega crazy set ever, but it'll be pretty damn good. 100 divines is a lot to work with. What are your harbingers making you like a day, and how many hours are you able to play a day? Yeah, I put together a set for 10 div, remember? Yeah, exactly. This guy made a cheaper set. What did your set end up looking like? The 10 div set that you made? I don't think I ever asked you. I'm kind of curious on what exactly to buy. Yes. Okay. Um, well, I mean, I'm kind of doing the experiment right now, right? To see how much better the well, I guess I'm trying to see if there's diminishing returns really. I'm not really trying to see which one's better, but based on what I'm discovering now, I think the quantity two by ones are very very strong. I don't know at all yet whether they are better than just straight arcanists or diviners yet. I knew this negative 40 or 40% resist is not ideal. I need to overcap. When I was making this build, I didn't know if I wanted to go ES or life based. I kind of just threw a bunch of items together, trying a bunch of different stuff to hope it worked out. But now I have a completely wasted resistance, and I can't overcap my resistances now because I went into chaos on the gloves, unfortunately, and then the life version sucked. I mean, 25 divs in 6 to 7 hours. Yeah, we got to get you off those harbingers, brother. That's not the move. Not the move at all. Um, with 100 divine. Well, I'll tell you. Maybe I can help you out with some ideas on how to go about it first. I need to open a portal because I'm probably gonna die with this resistance again. With 100 divines, you can craft some pretty damn good ones. Let's take a look at the prices real quick. I did just make the video, so they might have gone up a little bit, but hopefully not too much. This is just the way I like to craft them. It's not always the cheapest. Um, there are other ways to do it. Like when you recombine them together, the weighting affects whether the mod falls off or it has a chance to. So you can do double mod blues. Um, or you can just slam together rares. The rares are way cheaper, but it's just like a gut shot, hope and pray that you actually hit. And then when you miss, your idol's basically dead. Whereas when you craft with blues, if you can get the stuff to fall off, then even when you miss, your stuff is reusable again. All right, let's take a look. What did I do wrong here? Oh, count one, magic. Okay, so a little expensive. Oh wow, this guy. And I'll buy that, dude. The 30 or 40 divine idol. I'm sure he's spammed. He's not going to sell it. Um, but if you don't do empty, it looks like they're really cheap. Okay, so here's another way you can craft these, right? If they're really expensive like that, is Craft of Exile. The only reason I haven't taught people how to craft is because I keep forgetting which way it goes. Um, but I'm like 95% sure that the lower the weighting, the higher the chance to fall off. I'm like 95% on that, but I could be backwards with it. I I just can't remember, and I haven't taken the time to like slam together a bunch of idols to remember or look it up myself. Um, but maybe you can find some information on it, and it makes crafting your idols a lot better. And the reason why is even though this is super tedious, what you can do is you can open these this page on one monitor and then the trade page on the other, and you just go down the list and say um, you just pick the low weightings, right? So chance to complete your maps, gain a free random crafting option, right? And so you do chance. Oh, I'm sorry, you'll do and chance to complete crafting. Let's pretend it's that one. I think it was that one. But then you list out all of the ones with low weighting, and then you have your one like this, right? And then you search that out, and obviously that you would never buy that. That's terrible. But um, or actually this might be an okay deal, right? Because this is a 9%. So even though it's 12 divines, if the weighting's low, then it has a high chance to fall off when you recombinate one in. But just please don't quote me on that. I cannot remember if it's the higher the weighting or the lower the weighting has the better chance to fall off. But it is a very, very viable way to craft. And so what you do is you go in and you select the proper weightings for each of these mods that are lower and or higher than the one you're looking for, and you set up, spend a couple of minutes to set up a whole thing, and then copy and paste and probably put this in Notepad so you don't have to do it again. Um, and then that's how you can recombinate in some blue idols for much much cheaper. Um, and like what I would probably do is I would do something like this with the openable again that's cheap, and then I would do one that's isolated with like explicit, right? I know this is getting a little complicated, but um, then you would like slam this one in, right? And what you're hoping is that you have a high chance for the other one to fall off. And I wouldn't do this one actually. I would do this one last. But I think you kind of get what I'm saying, right? You can kind of work around it like your cheaper ones. And generally the way I try to recombinate is I use my cheaper ones first, and that way when they miss a bunch, it's okay. And then I slam in my more expensive one after. But you really want your stuff isolated. Um, hopefully that wasn't confusing, but um, yeah, there's a lot of tricky ways to use the recombinator. Or if you want to keep it simple, then which is usually how I do it because I don't want to deal with all that, then you just do isolated, and you would do this one last, right? So, which actually at 8 divines, this might be more of an expensive one. So you recombinate this one in with like say 2 strong boxes. Since it'll be your cheaper one, and your initial ones only have a 1 and 3 to hit. So you do your 2 cheaper ones first, right? 1 divine for these, very cheap. Slam that into whichever one of these two ends up being cheaper. So it looks like 7% chance is a lot cheaper on average for the most part. So you would just, yeah, slam the 2 strong boxes in until you have those two isolated together on a magic idol, and then you come in with your explicit after, and then slam that one into those two. And I think it's roughly about a 1 and 3 that it'll take all three onto the same idol. So, and then the beauty of doing it this way without all the extra mods on it is when you miss, usually you'll get a reusable idol. Sometimes it just goes horrible, but a lot of times you'll end up keeping your expensive one, and then you'll be able to reuse it and slam in another one. And they're really not too bad to make. That Titanic Exiles stream that I did where I said so many magic idols, there's a timestamp in there where I show exactly what I'm talking about. And then what I'm trying to figure out right now is if there's diminishing returns on these. So far, I've counted 9, 12, 13, 12, 19, 13 non Arcanists and Diviners um, while using two of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a few more of these. I think I'm going to do 10 on each. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. So I'm going to do 4 more maps, count them out, and then I'm going to switch these two out to Arcanists and Diviners. Uh, 4 more Arcanists and Diviners to go up to like 900% and see if there's any sort of diminishing returns on putting on too many boxes, basically. Could you quickly hover over your new idle set? Yeah, it's just the same conquerors, and then the barrel that I've shown. And right now, I'm testing. Everything else is just increased chance for Strongbox and our Arcanus, or Diviners and Arcanus for 630% roughly. And then I put on 2 quantity ones in right now. Yeah, as I just said, we're testing to see if there's any sort of diminishing returns on it. You saw Miracle slamming together idols with double Mirror of Delhi and hoping it'd fall off, so I assume it's the low weighting ones that fall off easily. I think you're right. I'm like 98% sure that that's the way it works too. I just can't say for sure that that is because, I can't say that on stream and then be wrong and then I just waste everyone's currency. So I'll tell you that is a thing that works, but I encourage you to go do your own research. And whoever's talking about Wildwoods, I don't really want to spend too much time, but like you can see that there's the wall on the left, so I'm kind of assuming I'm sort of on the west side here. And then we find this here, and I'm gonna just kind of take a gut shot and assume that's the west side. So I run diagonally up to the north side, and then I'm pretty confident where I'm at now. Oop, maybe not. So probably the east side, and then I started on the south side, I guess. And then this is where it gets tricky. Like you hit two walls, and then now you're not sure. So one of these is a false wall, which looks like it's this one. So yeah, you hit a false wall there. That was actually um, north and west. And then unfortunately, I just hit a wall here to confuse me, but you go around it and keep pathing this way, and eventually you'll get to east. Oh shit, I can't open these yet. My bad. So we got 1, 2. This is another good one. I'm gonna throw all my numbers off. 3, 4. Uh oh. This one's really good, dude. Did I count that right? How many boxes do I got on here? 27 boxes? Uh, I don't want this one to be like this. It's gonna fuck up all the numbers, man. I'm pretty sure I counted that right, but I kind of want to recount because 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang. Yeah, this map is juiced, especially since I'm running 40% quantity on him. Was it 4 the first time too? I thought it was 5 the first time. Maybe it was 4 the first time. Well, that messes everything up, dude. What the hell? Okay. Damn, I feel like I'd have to run a lot to get like an actual number. I don't know if 10 is going to cut it, but I don't really want to run around counting strong boxes all day either. How good is this? I'm doing T17 Scarabs right now, but I don't know. Rolling T17s is kind of frustrating sometimes. I don't know, man. I think it's pretty good. I haven't done um, tons and tons of testing on it, but I've played it for a bunch of hours on 3 different days, and it's been really good. And more than anything, it's just really fun. So I don't know how much you're making off your Scarab farm, but I too also hate T17s. My initial plan today was to run 60 maps on T17s, and I ran two, and it was really mediocre. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I don't want to roll the maps. I don't want to run T17 all day. I spent a lot of time at 3.25 running T17s, and I just came back to the game midway through 3.25 after a decent break, and so T17s were really cool. They're a challenge. They're fun. They're exciting. They're a good way to test my skills with the game again. But now that I've done them a bunch and they're easy, I do not want any part of them anymore. Cool for a bit, not cool forever. A lot of people have been bringing up, running 8 mods with this, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I know you can, but we're deep in the league, man. I just want to chill. I want to hang out, roll some maps, not think too much, open some strong boxes, make a bunch of currency. Makes me happy. Also, is it not better to do it on T17, or are you just testing? Yeah, like I set it up, man. Do I still have it open? I probably don't. No, I don't. But I set up a whole thing. Like I bought all the containments. That was the stream I was initially planning on doing today. Is I had like 180 divines invested into 60 maps. I was ready to roll with it, and then um, before I committed to it, I was like, I'm gonna run two real quick just to see what it feels like, and it wasn't that good. Like 2 maps is nothing to test strong boxes on. I understand, but I literally found like 2 Valdos on the first one, and then I don't know, like I think a couple of divination cards worth 2 divine total for the pair, and I was like, nope, not interested. I don't care if I got unlucky. This would have to be like raining divines down on me or insane cards in order for me to feel like this much work and investment is worth it. And I had like 50 strong boxes on the map, just about something like that. It was like 51 and like 50% openable again. And I'm like, listen, if that's not going to pay me like a ton from that out of 2 maps, then I'm not interested in farming this for the amount of work it takes. So that was my experience with the T17s this league. I'm not interested. And I talked to the other guy, the guy that I showed in that video that linked the pilfering ring, Pepe. He comes in here from time to time. I think he streams also. Um, Although I don't know it, I'll have to ask him next time. But he's been running strongboxes the entire league, and I want to say he says he basically just like makes his money back a lot on his T17 maps. So 8 mirrors is great, and that's tons and tons of profit. Although he's on the very lucky end, very very like hyper lucky end. He should have only found 1 or 2 of those duped, which is still tons of currency. But that means all that time in between when he's not getting those, he's basically just not really making that great a currency because the investment cost for his maps is so high. So that was at least kind of what I got from him. He says he didn't really make a ton map to map, and each map's like 8 minutes. But anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, there's a lot of variance in these. quite a bit of variance, huh? Maybe when I slam them all together and I get the median, it'll look a little more clear, hopefully. But 10 maps might not be enough to figure it out. Considering selling your Scarab idols, fetch around 300 divine for them and go strong boxes, but I don't know. It's up to you, man. I think they're a lot of fun and I think they're paying well. I probably not like the best strategy out there unless you end up duping the mirror and then it becomes insane. Um, I think it's a very strong strategy without a doubt. I don't know if it's the best. I think I saw Snoopy just put out a strategy yesterday that looked pretty promising. Watched a couple minutes of that. That looks pretty good. I know Titanic Exiles have been very good as well, like insanely good, but they do seem to be losing a little bit of their value as the league goes on, especially with the unique side. But if you can drop your rarity like I did, then I make a fortune off of those blue idols. Um, and then also, it's at this stage of the league, it's always kind of worth re-exploring old strategies that people were doing initially and then got watered down because of so many people doing them. Like something like essences will be really good early, and then everyone starts doing them, and they're not really good anymore. And then if you give it a little bit of time, like right around to this stage of the league, they go back to being really good again because no one's farming them anymore. But you just have to like look at the prices of things. But I know they like died in 3.25, and then like a couple weeks or 3 weeks later, I went back to them and I was making like 40 divine an hour running them. It was like insane. I wish that wasn't a thing. I like using gold flask, but magic idols are just so cracked sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I only like gold flasks from farming uniques. I'll be honest, dude, farming the idols was so much more fun than farming uniques to me. Like, it's just the same as uniques. Like, you go on long streaks with it where you're not really hitting lots and lots of good idols, and then you go on streaks where you're just like raining 15 to 20 divine idols. I just sold one for 30 divine before I got on stream. The a perfect Wild Rogue Exiles or Possessed one, isolated. And then I just find tons and tons of the Conquerors one that are like 3% increase explicit or 5. Those sell for like 18, sometimes 20. Yeah, it's a fun farm. It's more exciting to me than uniques at this point. Any budget BB in strong boxes I could probably take this off. I only had to use this for exiles. I'm sure it's not going to feel super great, but it depends on what you're farming, right? This isn't going to be a very good test. I mean, my damage isn't going to be that good. The original sin, like, it's just the passive tree is so tight for 135% pack size exiles that it's just really hard to find the defense as well as the points to get any sort of penetration on anything else. So the original sin just worked out. And once you drop the wand, the damage is just really tough. The original sin kind of felt mandatory with the exiles, but yeah, outside of exiles, you probably don't. If you're just farming T17 strong boxes, you'd probably put this thing together for dirt cheap. Exiles are just like a whole different world, you know? Yeah, I don't I don't need any penetration on T16. The chest is just defense, so you definitely don't need to go into that. The wand is very strong and a lot of damage, but and it's also your source of explode. But on T16s, you could drop the block flask and just run a Riot for your explode. with Herald of Ash. Um, yeah, if you're not running Exiles, plenty of ways to budget make this. So you can run another variant for Mage Blood plus around 100 to 200 div. I'm sure you could make it work for that, I would think. The other thing that's kind of tight is the jewel slots. But again, if you're running T16s, then you have a lot more variation in your points, so you can pick up other jewel slots. Um, you don't need this much energy shield. Yeah, there's just a lot of variation. You can make anything work on T16, man. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9. I don't think I counted that one. 10, 11, 12, 12. It really seems like most of your averages are around 12 to 13. I almost left the map. Have the helmet from your brand? Yeah, that's all I did. I initially tried Penance Brand, and another guy's basically playing my exact same build, and he's still playing Penance Brand, and it's very good. But all I did was swap out the gems, and you're basically converted. Change some points around, grab a little bit of increased effect if you need it. But it's basically a 1-to-1 swap. Just about. Your cast speed on your items will be a little bit wasted, or completely wasted, but I guess you cast BV a little faster. That's about it. Frostblink a little faster. But yeah, as far as damage, it's wasted. Pepe, there he is. You stream, don't you, Pepe? What's your stream? Some people are asking about T17s. Dreading the new POE2 league? Yeah, I'm not juicing POE2 in the new league. I really, really, really doubt it. Unless somehow I'm gonna play the Huntress through the campaign, and unless she's just like super, super awesome, that it makes me want to play her into the end game. I'm probably not gonna play much end game. They they made a pretty big mistake by keeping the tower system, in my opinion. Not the most fun grinding experience. Hate running random maps in PoE2. Uh, I didn't despise the maps. I guess I kind of did. I don't know. They were fine. Most of them sucked, but I don't know. It was just everything was too big. Like I say it all the time, but even Expedition, the maps, like everything about it just felt like they took like a size, a scale slider and just like dragged it up 30% more than it needed to be. It's like what the whole game felt like to me. Expedition was too big, Ritual was too big. The only thing that wasn't too big was the Expedition charges. And Ritual wasn't too big. I don't know why I said that. Ritual's tiny in comparison to the map. Yeah, the crafting is, yeah, there's a lot to be desired. I think they'll get it there, but I think they really messed up with the tower system and leaving it in the way it is. That is by far my least favorite part, personally. It's not even the tower system, man. It's the precursors. Like having 4 quad tabs of precursors is obnoxious. The only reason I have so many quad tabs is because of PoE2, man. Like I had half of these before I started that game. Ridiculous. Maybe that was their goal. It's just Get everyone to buy tons of quad tabs, and then they'll fix their game. All right, one, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me get 10. Okay. Guess we'll see. Not being able to run your own maps is just crazy. I don't know how they decided that was a decision. What do you mean by not being able to run your own maps? Yeah, tower makes sense, but to juice a tower is stupid. Yeah, that's how I feel too. The towers don't bother me nearly as much as the precursors themselves do. They're just really they're tedious to trade for, they're tedious to manage, they're tedious to everything. Everything about them is just tedious. The towers are whatever. I don't mind running the towers. Uh, but now that you got to do like your breaches on the tower maps, dude, like what are we doing? That's so bad. It's not good at all. Want to run breach on the tower map, dude. I knew they were gonna do that too because like everyone kept skirting around the issue. Whenever you read people's posts, they're like, "It's not the towers. It's that they feel wasted. They feel like you don't want to run them because there's no mechanic on them." I'm like, "Don't say that, dude. Don't say that at all. They're just gonna put mechanics on the towers," and that's exactly what they did. Like being forced to path between towers. And a lot of the time you can't choose the map you want to do if they're all oh right, 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 yeah, like you go and spend 2 hours of your night lining out a tower, and then you find out it's just like surrounded by lakes, and you have augury and mire. It's like the 19 maps you have to run is just like 80% or that. Yeah, and not ideal. I don't I also don't really think I hate that feature, even though I love PoE 1 and I love being able to just like pick a map and go. I don't mind being forced to like have to change my scenery. It's just unfortunate that most of the scenery they have sucks. Like it's only like 25-30% of maps that like feel good. But I think if they just reduced some of those a little bit, I wouldn't hate it as much as I did. I also ran a lot of Expedition. I didn't really care for Breach that much. I was making a fortune off Expedition. Um, and I made a couple videos about it, and unfortunately the precursors got really, really expensive, so it became less viable. But initially, I was making tons. And Expedition didn't really care about the map layout nearly as much. I don't think Ritual really did either. I think it was really just Breach. If you're a big Breach runner, then that's where the map layouts got really painful. Pathing is okay if you can choose a map. Yeah, I mean, even if like what would be maybe kind of cool if they wanted to keep that system is like I don't know if you could roll over X amount of maps in a certain area or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, say it's just really heavily, maybe you get like credits or something. I don't know, this seems like stupid and complicated now that I'm thinking about it, but it would still be better than their current implementation where like maybe you get credits for X amount of maps that you run to where you get to, roll a map into something else. So if you do hit an area that's just like pure garbage, you can re-roll a few of them into more favorable ones. I mean, I don't want to see them go that route. I would rather them change their entire end game to be honest, but at least that would be better, I think. Wait, no, I'm just gonna throw that one. I don't. Okay, so now we're up to 902. So this should be, hopefully, even with this much variation, we'll see a pretty distinct median, I hope. Shit, is this the new one or is this the one I just opened? All right, we're going to a new one. Not paying attention. At J, what with the price of Magic Idols rising, would you still say it's worth attempting to recom over just outright buying the idols? I think it is always worth recomming. What do the idols cost? They're always so expensive. Yeah, no, not for an eight. Hell no. The thing is when you recombinate in Magic Idols in the right way, and I was just talking about this a bit. Um, but when you miss, as long as you don't have a bunch of other BS mods on here, then even when you miss, you get to reuse your idols. So it's when I initially crafted the set, I know it was before I made the video, so I don't know the current prices, but I think it was a total of like I had a 7%, an 8%, a 9%, and 9%, and outside of that, they're the same idols. And I crafted all four of these for 60 divine. I got very lucky with the final slam. I like hyper lucky, but the point is, it's 70 divine for one of these, and like with a little bit of luck, I crafted the entire thing for 60. So no, I don't think it's ever worth it to buy the idols. Not ever, ever, ever. They're usually like two or three times the price. It's insane. Sup? What's up, man? How you doing? Testing some diminishing returns right now. For the exile strat, I still don't think it's worth it. No, because you get a sometimes recombinating sucks and it hurts and it burns, but sometimes it goes smooth too. So the thing is you get to reuse your idols when you miss, and yeah, those guys that are making those idols for profit are doing it because they're making a lot of profit doing it, and they're like actually making an insane amount of profit. To be honest, it's like kind of insane. All right, so we got one, two, three. Like you saw me, if you watched that demonstration I did, or I made 220. I ended up selling those 3x1s that I showed in that demonstration. I sold each of them for 20 divines, and it took me 1,000 chaos to make both. You know, like I literally like 5 or 6x my money. It's insane, and it's like that with every idol set. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, sorry. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10. This is interesting. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Holy shit. 17? Uh-huh. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? What was I at? Like 600%? I'll check after. Well, that's pretty interesting, though. There may be diminishing returns, boys. The quantity might be a bit better than we think. This is just one map. I had massive variance in the other test as well. It went all the way down to 4 on one of them. But that is a lot of non-Arcanists and Diviners for 900%. Do not care about ornate at all. Okay, there's no way this map is like hyper unlucky. Because I ran this for a bit and it was not this insanely bad. But even if the median falls close to the other one, then without a doubt, the quantity is significantly better than doing a full inventory of Arcanas and Diviners. Like, without a doubt. I don't even need to run a test. I can just tell you. Like, if the median's even like one or two off, then quantity will far outweigh rolling that high of Arcanas and Diviners. Where was the demonstration with the idols? Go to my stream labeled so many magic idols. I think it's the one right before this under my live section. And there's a timestamp in there that says idol craft example. And then I'll show you how you make them there. And then the one right below that is where I lose 400 divine doing it the exact same way with more expensive idols. Very exciting. I got I didn't really get I don't really think I got that unlucky actually. I overpaid like crazy because I just like didn't care. But um I I did get a little unlucky that like it didn't keep the Rogue Exiles when I recombined it in. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. I should have another mirror item right now, but I literally I didn't know mirrors were 800 divines, dude. I probably wouldn't have gambled for that idol. It's like shit. I was halfway to a mirror. Why did I do that? It's fine. We're back. We got a mirror again. But the first example I show is with very cheap idols, and it's the way I craft them all. There's other ways to do it with weightings and stuff that I was talking about a little bit earlier. Um, but yeah, that's like the most simple, generic, safe way if you can get the idols for a reasonable price. I always snipe them, put them on active search if you want to be smart about your money, unlike me. And that's how you'll get your best deals. Don't buy them outright. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11. That's a lot. That's a whole lot right there. Okay. That's a lot. I really thought we were going to be hovering around like the 7 to 9 range, but it's not really going that way so far. I wish I could edit. I wish I could edit YouTube stuff. After I made that video, like I ranted about so many different random things and had so much to cover that I completely forgot to tell people like, hey, you can run 8 mod explicit, and so many people asked about it. And I was like, fuck, man, I wish I could add in like a clip to the video or something after it's been posted. But I also wish I could do it with my streams because if this turns out to be um, like basically the same between 600 and 900%, then I'd want to put that at the front of the stream for anyone coming back to the VOD to let them know not to get that many Arcanus and Diviners. I mean, it's still up in the air. 2 maps is not enough to test the variation. But, dude, 17 non Arcanus and Diviners on 900% is kind of insane. That is a lot. I can also just like feel it too. Um, you can feel the 40% reduced loot. The whole reason I decided to switch is because I was running this earlier and I went like like 10 maps with no divine orbs. I was like, what's going on? And so I swapped to the quantities and just immediately immortal and divine and Sephiroth. It was just like started raining stuff on me, and I was like, oh no, quantity might be a lot better. And it could go even further too. Like maybe even 600% is too much. To put it in perspective, how much more expensive would it be to buy a mid-tier Rogue Exiled set versus crafting it? Way cheaper. Like way cheaper. It's also dependent on your luck. Like, recombinating idols, you can go on bad luck streaks. But buying them outright is like so insanely expensive. Like, what do you mean by mid tier? Like, I want to say something like this is like a mirror right now. You could definitely craft it for a hell of a lot cheaper than a mirror. It's just two mods, fucking. For a two mod one, I'd probably slam together rares, honestly. There's Let me go back to my stream. I used to have in the details of my streams, I used to have the idle um odds posted. This might be loud. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah. I think this is a currency selling website, but it was the first link on Google. Uh, so I posted it because just to help people out. Yeah. So you can kind of do the math on what you want, but it looks like if you slam together two rare idols, you're at about my headset. And I just headset died. Hard com. Check OBS. Mic good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think to get both mods is like 15%, so you can do the math on that if you're just doing like the two mod explicit and chance for exiles. And then if you want to do the scarabs or the rituals, then it starts to be better to probably go into blue idols. Um, but dude, to buy this whole set outright would probably cost me like I don't know anymore, 7 years, 6 years. This is definitely crafted for cheaper than that. Does Quantum affect Strongbox? It does if it's on the map, yeah. So yeah, yeah, you can't get it on gear anymore. Now this one's gonna be like all nothing but Arcanists and Diviners. We got one, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Massive variation again. Yeah, two mod items necessary, absolutely necessary. Um, oh, if you're gonna craft a too many maps need a lot. Shit, where am I at here? Yeah, two mods. Yeah, I mean to craft the two mod one is not that bad at all. The Rogue Exiles part is the painful part, but um, like it depends how cheap you want to go, right? Like I think I sell my like 9% and 8 Rogue Exile ones for like 7 divine, or like dirt cheap. The lower end ones are like hyper cheap, and then the upper end ones are hyper expensive. It's kind of the way all the idols are right now because the dudes that are profit crafting them are just buying up every top tier one possible and leaving the crap ones for everyone else, basically. It's like half the reason I made the Magic Idol video. It's to try and get more Magic Idols into the economy. Because literally every profit crafter is buying every single one up, so no one else can craft them for themselves. But they only buy the highest tier ones, you know, they only make like perfect idols, 11 10s and 12 10s. You are the massive variation. What about the profit? I don't see a lot of ding. Well, I'm trying a bunch of different stuff out. I'm thinking this isn't the way. I think quantity is better. I found my double immortal early on. And I'm also going very slow because I'm counting boxes. The whole idea of running a cheap, fast set is to go fast. But I'm trying to see if there is diminishing returns on these boxes right now. Oh, there's my, see, annulment. There's my two divines. Garbage rolls on T1. Game hates me. Dude, just in general, like just from kind of playing around tonight, I think I really like the quantity a lot more. I did the profit yesterday. I did a pretty like soft estimate of it, but it was around 35 divine an hour without the luck, and then I so far I found two immortals, two awesome ears, two Hinakoras, two doctors, which doctors are worth nothing, but eventually that'll roll apothecary for me. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the actual divine per hour would be if you include luck. Always hard to say with strong boxes, but outside of luck, probably around 30 to 40, depending on how fast you can go. Maybe a little more if I find the right balance of these Arcanist and Diviner's chance. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Man, there's a lot still. It's like, hmm, this is really looking like diminishing returns, honestly. I said 12, right? I think I said 12. I say 11 or 12. Muted YouTube like a twat if you replied to what you said. I completely missed it. I think you should craft them yourself, man. I think you should always craft every idol yourself. I have yet to see this league an idol that is worth buying. The only exception to that was like 170%, 70% Arcanist Diviners that I found that the guy was way underselling. But like as a crafted idol, it's the same with items in this game. Like anytime you pay for an item that's finished, you're always paying a fee, and with idols, it's quite a hefty fee this league, and from just about every idol I've seen. So have crafted Strongbox, set myself, and made 200 div profit. I think. Oh, never worth buying. Oh, I mixed up your messages there. I thought you were saying that the Strongbox set was never worth buying. I was like, you made 200 div, dude. What do you mean? But I got what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, definitely never worth buying. Never, ever, ever. like I said, I spent 80 div to make these Strongbox ones initially on my first set of them. If I would have bought them outright, I think it would have been closer to like 700 divine. Like the difference can be fucking insane, and I got lucky, but still, even unlucky, I don't think I lose. I don't think I spend more than 700 divine. Well, this is gonna get a bit tricky then, because it's really starting to feel like diminishing returns this far in. And if that's the case, then maybe 600% is too high too. Where's this guy at? Like, what is the appropriate annulment again? Stop. Called it 500%. You think so? You're probably right. I mean, it's looking almost the exact same. Like, so far, it's almost looking worse with 900%. The only good amount is the amount Route 2 is telling me to be good. Wait, is he doing strong boxes? Has he already done what I'm doing here and tested all this out? That'd be cool. Save me a lot of work. It's like the first thing I need to upgrade is my PC, not my build. Yeah, I've been there. What's your GPU and CPU? Um, oh my God, dude. I feel like I have like 4 hours of sleep. 4080 Super. I was thinking 3080 in my head. I couldn't think about it. But yeah, I got a 4080 Super, and then the CPU I always forget actually. This is the first PC I built, so I'm a little newer to remembering all the parts. Where's CPU at? Processors? 7800 X3D. That's right. I can never remember the first number. It's a badass computer compared to what I was running. I was in my kitchen at 5 a.m. in my boxers after 13 hours of losing my mind trying to troubleshoot why my motherboard wouldn't turn on. Very, very fun experience building a PC for the first time. One, two, three, four. I need consistency. If it's gonna be bad, I need it to stay bad. Five. Damn it. It's gonna be a good one. Six. Man, even with the top end, that's gonna be yeah, dude. This game is like trying to run like Blight or something on anything. It's impossible. Just built your own 7800 X3 X3D CPU and RX 7900 XEX. I was looking at like I said, it was the first PC I built, so I don't follow computer parts or anything. But I spent like a solid 2 week where all I did was consume computer parts content. Um, and then this is what I ended up landing on. I think I chose really well. I mean, it's working really well. Um, but I spent so much time watching video card tests, between what's the guy's name? He's got like a couple million subscribers, long hair, kind of big dude. He goes around and holds a bunch of like computer and electronics companies, like does interviews with them to be like, why are you a piece of shit? You need to treat your customers better. And he actually gets like high end people to respond and then put out like public apologies and stuff. I can't think of his name, but I watched a lot of his stuff and their video card benchmarks in different situations to make my choice. It's a tough choice, man, when you don't like you're not involved in the world a lot. But how did yours turn out? You like it? Gamer Nexus, there you go. Perfect. I knew somebody would get it if I said enough random things about him. Yeah, he's got a cool channel, man. I actually even after I built my PC, I kept watching him for a little while. He's I like his channel. It's pretty cool. Really into my PCs. Yeah. I knew somebody would know what I was talking about. Yeah, he's cool, man. Yeah, like mine had my same PC for 13 years before this, no upgrades. Oh, and then you just upgraded to that. That's probably made a world of difference. Boys, I gotta tell you, I'm thinking quantity is a lot better. This kind of feels like ass. This is, I don't know how many people are still in here from the beginning, but probably not a lot. I was talking about it at the start. I wasn't even planning on streaming today, and then I was running this for a bit, and I was like, this doesn't feel that good. And I threw on quantity and just immediately immortal, divines, uh, whatever, whatever, just a bunch of high end stuff. And I was like, damn, I think this quantity's better. And now that I'm running this, this feels terrible. I'm just like full Arcanus and Diviners. Which would make sense because the first time I ran it, I was running a lot more quantity, right? Like I was running two of these idols for explicit, and then I was running one quantity, so the quantity was about the same. That's probably why I had such good results. But yeah, so far 900% is a no-go. We're 5 maps in. Okay. Glad we have people like you to test this shit. I probably no, when I wasn't streaming or like making content, I was actually testing stuff like this. A lot of times during a league, I would get really like hyper into min-maxing strategies occasionally. I do find it enjoyable, but I feel like I have to be more accurate with it if I make content. That's the only downside to it. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Man, it's like really tough to tell. The numbers for this one are just way more variance. Can't wait to see the dopamine deprive. Dude, honestly, I don't want to go back to another league. I love this league so much. I don't want to go back to the next one, or I don't want to go to the next one. This one is so good. This might be one of my favorite leagues that I've played. It's up there for sure. It didn't start out that way. When they announced it, I wasn't even excited for it. I was like, that sounds like precursors. No, because I thought the idols got consumed. I didn't really pay attention or look that hard. And I played it and I was like, this is terrible. I just want to make my build. I don't want to buy idols. And then now that I'm deeper into the league, this is becoming my favorite league ever. One of them at least. And yeah, then we're gonna go back to regular farms next league, and it's gonna feel like crap. The idle system is crap. It yielded a lot of power. I don't think it's crap anymore. I definitely did. I hated it at first, or I didn't like it. I won't say I hated it. but now I love it. It's like one of my favorite systems ever. Just hate the trading. That is definitely the best part. Like, especially when you get unlucky, even crafting like cheap ones, when you have to go through like 10 trades just to make one idol, it's like, oh, trading is my least favorite part in this game. Auction house, please. So many bots are going to be created around the auction house, though, if they make one. They'll never get anything. It's just going to be endless bots sniping everything. Idols either like it or hate it completely. Yeah, I agree. I think like the super juicers love this league. The people that like to min-max strategies and just go crazy, and I think the casual players despise this league. It's kind of what I'm thinking is going on. You like idols because of all the stacking power you get, not because of the idols. That's a very fair statement. Yeah, if I could get this much power without using idols, I would also be happy. You're completely right. The actual system itself. No, you know what? I really didn't like crafting them at first. But when I made this Strongbox set, I actually kind of had a good time just like chilling out and crafting it. I didn't hate it, but I also got lucky with it. When it goes bad, then it's not nearly as fun. 11% explicit, 2 mod. What is that, like 8 divine? That might be a little too much for that. We'll try 8. We'll try 9. I have to wait a little bit for it, but I don't know. We'll see. I need to go back in and look a lot of those up. The values are changing constantly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just be bad, please. I need this to go bad so I can go back to quantity. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if I counted that one or not. We'll say 10, 11, 12, 12. Again, I mean, even if I'm off by one or two counting all these, it should be pretty glaring a 30% increase or decrease if it's not diminished. Like one or two shouldn't really matter too much. Imagine the same on the Atlas. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool, but then everyone would have access to it, so it would be less cool, right? Like, I think what's cool about it is like you start out a broke little boy in this, and then if you find a strategy you like and you keep sending currency into it, then you get like a giga strategy that other people don't have access to. And so like your work is rewarded, I guess, is maybe what I like about it. Like I kind of felt that way even when they did the initial switch to the Atlas tree. Like I do think the Atlas tree is superior because it gives newer players so much more access to being able to farm content. Like I remember back in the day, it seemed like only a handful of people really knew how to make any amount of currency in this game with how convoluted the setup was. Like the majority of players were couldn't make anything. And so I do think it's good, but I also felt like, man, I spent all this time learning all the details of this game, and now everyone just gets to make all this currency. Man, and I also had that feeling a little bit too. But it's definitely a very selfish, like top 10% of players kind of thing. At this point of the league, the remaining players have their set. I don't know about that. I think I always get surprised by the numbers. I think most of them do, yeah. But I always think there's a lot of people that don't play the league in the same way that people like I do or you. You know, they show up late, they play a couple hours a night. I think there's a lot more of those kind of guys than than most people realize. PoE's not attracting casuals like that? You don't think so? I don't know about that. Didn't they come out with the numbers and say that only like 10% of the people made it to endgame? Or like maybe 1%? It was something crazy like that. Especially after you see two or three farm videos on YouTube. You look at your divine meter and the price of the sets. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of people that just don't play anywhere close to that level. I honestly, I would think it's the majority, to be honest. You can see it in the comments of YouTube videos of like creators and stuff. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is definitely diminished, dude. Definitely diminished. It's unfortunate with this much variance. Then again, 10 maps isn't going to be like a definitive perfect test, but it's what I'm willing to do tonight, and it's definitely leaning in the direction of diminished. You're amazed there's no hardcore Legion grind strat? I think there is. No, I think the Legion openable again is pretty insane. I don't know. My guild member was talking about that. He was saying that it's like pretty damn good, but he's definitely more of a casual player, so I don't know what he means by good when he says good. He was also running Harbingers for a while. Did I write this one down? I did. I mean, I can just feel it from running these maps that this is significantly worse than quantity. I felt it when I first started it too. It's the whole reason I started the stream, like I said. But the question is like how much do you give up? It's the next thing I'll have to figure out. What if in the end it's just like all quantity is actually better? Canis and Diviners are bait. I mean, it looks like a lot of cards, but it's not that much in comparison to what you do with the quantity, that's for sure. Won't know till you try it. Yeah, I'll have to mess around with it more, but almost almost certainly we're diminished. Yeah. How much do you give up to play PoE? Probably too much. What is the test? The test is I'm trying to see the diminishing returns because I built a whole new idle set after I did that 80 map stream, and I was all excited to play it, and then I got on and I played it and it felt like ass, and I was like, dude, what's going on? And so I threw in some quantity ones over the Arcanus and Diviners, and like immediate it was just two Immortals, Raining Divines, everything was great, and that quantity was closer to what I did during the test, and so I'm testing the diminishing returns between these idols. I don't think a full set of Arcanus and Diviners is good. Not a fan of the. I was not counting these. All right, we gotta open another map. I'm so used to just blasting through these that I open the map and just kind of shut my brain off and start opening boxes. I forgot I was counting them for a second. Not a fan of just try arguing because of the trust me, bro. If you cut your left arm, your rarity will be boosted by 200%. But dude, trust me, bro. I promise you, this is how it works. I ran two whole maps, and I can tell you for certain that's how it works. It's illegal advice, yeah, dude. Trust me. I'll sign you a document. Sure. All right, we need to add another map. So I'm paying attention. All right, count the boxes. Count the boxes. Do you, by any chance, have a link for your current build? Yeah, in that last video I made, there's a link in there. The details of that video. I don't have one saved. I have to recreate it every time I make it, but pretty much in all my streams. And I think the last video I've put some random variation of it. I change it all the time. I don't know what I want it to be. It's still finding itself. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11. Looks like about 11. It's fucking diminished as hell, dude. Well, that means I gotta do so much more work now. I gotta figure out where the diminish starts. Where does the diminish start and the quantity begin? Also, super lame of them to diminish. Also, why don't born reliquary keys, are they not considered currency? I guess that would make sense. I don't get why they don't do. They must not be considered currency. I guess on the plus side, I get to sell off a bunch of idols that are really expensive. That's cool. So tempted to sell your Scarab set and do boxes. It's relaxing as fuck, dude. It is. It's so good. It's so chill and just like mindless and tons of currency and I'm not dropping too many tinks right now because I think this is a bad idle set with what I'm testing. I'm like almost guaranteeing diminishing returns at this point. But if you do the quantity ones, dude, yeah, you find a lot of good stuff. And then when the House of Mirrors are immortal, or hopefully I dupe a mirror. That's the goal. I might do boxes until I dupe a mirror because I've never duped one, and that sounds fun. That sounds exciting. 2x Mirror of Kalandra. I want to see that. What build are you running, Fernando? Am I gonna make another video based on my findings here? Yeah. If it turns out that the diminishing returns is in fact a thing, which it's really looking like it is, then I feel compelled to make a follow-up video for it. But the problem is, I also feel compelled to get more information before I make the video, um, to get a little bit more accurate numbers on where the diminishing returns actually sit. Oops, there's one, two, three, four, five, six. I think I do like Glacier more though. These boxes are too spread out. I don't care if you get a little bit more out of them. 7, 8. Not it's 8. Dude, this one's all over the place. Pilfering is a possibility. Also, no, yeah, you could do pilfering with the exact same set. That's actually how I started it, but it wasn't as good. But I also forgot to run the explosive modifiers. I was kind of stupid. I don't know why I'm doing that with my mouse. Well, from that small sample size, I don't know if I'm actually 600%. Let's see what it actually is. I think I took out. I would have taken out my best ones. 630. And then 900, basically exactly. The difference between 900 and 630, based on that very small sample size, is 11.2 non-arcanists and diviners on average, and 10.4 non-arcanists and diviners on average. Diminished as fuck. Without a doubt, you want to put in some quantity. Yeah, I'll end up having to make a video on this, and I'm gonna have to go further with it too. I'm gonna have to see how much more I need to drop it. But for 300% more, you get 10% more. It's pretty big. What is the best way to make the triple mod conch idols for boxes? As all my scarabs are 3 and 5% per explicit. Am I just slamming a magic openable into my rares? Yeah, you can do that, but you want the +2 strong boxes if you're not running containment. Like if you lose one, 2, 4, 6, 8 strong boxes off your idols, that's like it's like 25% of your loot. It's pretty big. Um, like if you're talking about just doing 5% map quality and then 3% exclusive per mod, I don't know. I don't know if that evens out because you'd get what, six, assuming you're running 6 mod maps, which you probably wouldn't even be running 6 mod all the time. Um, then you would get 18% times 4 explicit. I don't know. That's a lot of math that I don't feel like doing. I don't know if that'd be better, if I'm understanding you right. But damn, that's crazy, dude. Only a 10% difference versus 40% more quantity on your boxes. And then the next question is quantity nerf too, or diminished also. Would be kind of insane. I'll have to timestamp this in. Where am I at on the stream? 3 hours in almost. Okay. Yeah, I'll need to timestamp this in just to give people some more information until I'm able to make a video about this. It's pretty rough. I'm kind of tempted to take out 2 more and just run the test real quick and see what it looks like, honestly. I might. I don't know if 2 more is enough variance, though. It's really not. Should probably take out 4 more. Time is it? It's already 8:30. Nah, I can't do it tonight. I will do it at some point, though. I'm kind of curious for myself now, also. I'm going to take out 2 more, though, just kind of have a look at what it looks like since I already have. I'm curious what it feels like. Just run a handful of maps on it real quick. That drops you down to that 500% that you're thinking is the perfect spot. Maybe this is like the perfect layout here then. Don't my idols may not be the best. I'm still messing around, dude. This is just like what I threw together for myself, and there's different variations of the farm. I didn't break down any walls by making this or anything. I didn't discover anything. It's just kind of what I would consider to be a basic idol set for strong boxes. Uh, there's probably some people that have found some other really good ones as well. One, two. I'm gonna open them as I go here. I'm not gonna count the whole 10 again. I'm gonna kind of softly keep track of them as I pop them here. Stream of monsters is the worst when you're trying to run this. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, I feel like 8. I feel like I'm losing a lot now. 9, 10. 11, 12. Start seeing my tier 1 again finally, though. 13, 14, 15. Ooh, we might be a little too far down here. Is that 16? 17. 17 on that one. I guess I can slightly keep track of it. I don't even know why I'm doing this over here. I'm not planning on running a test of any kind. It's just they all have 5% over the two additional. Could I link it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You're gonna have to do that math on whether the quantity would be better than two additional strongbox, but eight additional strongboxes is for non-containment. That's a lot of strongboxes to lose, man. I don't know. I don't know about that. Can you just sell off that idle set and then use the currency to recraft one for strongboxes? Or you could just turn that into a containment one. Like that would be a good containment one, I imagine. Running like tier 17 containment or something. If I were to try to do a containment set, I probably wouldn't run two additional strongbox on it, I don't think. So we got one. That strongbox guide helped so much. I already spent 10 divs and already made more than what I spent within a few hours. You to go? Hell yeah, dude. That's what I love to hear. Good stuff. Yeah, I was hoping the video wouldn't gain too much traction and make the idols too expensive, and then people didn't end up, making a bunch back. That would have been a huge bummer. It's always kind of a risk when you put out a video like that. It's that all the idols go up in price and then people get baited, but that's awesome, man. I love to hear it. One, two, three, four on this one. Five, six, seven. This one's definitely looking a little bit better, but uh, yeah. Okay. Eight, nine, 10. Yeah, it's like the same. 11. Yeah, we are working on figuring out diminishing returns right now a little bit. I've definitely found out there's diminishing returns for sure. 600% up to 900% is a one box difference. So don't go rushing out to buy too much Arcanus and Diviner's Chance. Quantity is better. At a point. Jay is a new farm guru, expecting a lot of price fixing in his wake. No, not price fixing, but what does the video have? 2,000 people watch it. A lot of people got interested in it. I definitely saw a rise in the idols. I don't think I have a massive impact on the market or anything. I don't have that big of an ego. Not even really an ego. It's just like the reality of the situation. But 2,000 people is definitely enough to impact the market. Like when I was buying them myself, after I bought a few of the idols up, they already went up like a few divines just from me trying to craft them. But nice try trying to make me feel bad. It's stupid. Yeah, that makes sense. I must be looking at containment setup as adding more when that scarab already gives 30 odd would be a waste. Yeah, if I were to try to do double explicit effect, it would definitely be in a containment strategy. But then the strategy goes from being chill to a headache again. Then you're back in T17s. The whole reason you wanted to switch was for chill, right? Not that I mean T17s are chill if you have a good build and that, you know, the modifiers aren't that big of a deal. It's just the rolling and the buying and it's just all the maintenance with them. That's what makes them annoying. Mind if I link you a belt I just looted for a rough price estimate? Trade site doesn't have any of them up, but it looks definitely decently good. I can tell you the way that I'm gonna price check it. I'm gonna press F2 on it, and then I'm gonna check the stats. I'm gonna bring them all up like this, and then I'm gonna tell you what your belt is worth. Not that I mind looking at it, I really don't. Um, I just don't know. I have no idea what your belt is worth. I'm not in the belt market. I buy mage bloods and headhunters. That's about all I know about belts. If you're ever uncertain about an item, just general advice I'll give is put it on the high end, leave it in your inventory for about 24 hours, and then start slowly dropping the price down. That's how I price everything that I'm uncertain about. All right, we got one, two, is that three, right? One, two, three. Dusty memory. Not worth anything, is it? Five chaos. Oh, dang. And it mirrored. I have two of them. I mean, you can send it to me, but I won't. I won't be able to give you much information on it, most likely. That's my name, though. You're more than welcome to link it. One, two, three, four, five. How are you gonna count if the quantity has diminishing returns? That's the big question. It's a nice belt. It's a tier one life too. Yeah, I mean, like early league, this would be insane. I don't know. Try 20 divines, and tomorrow we'll take it down to 18. And the next day take it down to 15. I just popped a random one. Five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. Is that 11? It's gonna be like 11 or 12 again. 12. Yeah, I'm really thinking like 500% as of right now, and it could go down even more than that. I'll have to mess around more and more with it, but I mean that's cool. That's really good. It saves people a ton of money on those minor idols. Is there anything else you could add? Also means that I wasted a ton of money crafting those 50% increased strongbox idols, although they do look cool, but they're a complete waste if you're using the Kazman idols. But is there anything else you could even add into these though? Guarded by a pack of monsters. That can be okay in T17, maybe. Is there anything else on these though that would be worth anything? This is all just chance for shit, right? I mean, I can't really remember anything off the top of my head that would pair well with this at all. Yeah, there's like nothing, huh? I mean, it seems kind of rough to waste the whole two idle slot, right? On just a single mod. You could add one Strongbox with 12% increased explicit. What's your quantity? 17 quantity, but you could add an additional Strongbox. That doesn't really feel worth it either. I don't think there's another thing on this idle that would be worth your time. Yeah, I think just a straight 20% quantity is your best in slot. That's cool. It's cheap. Just feels kind of wasteful, I guess. There's a branch of math. It's the sixth one I found of those today, I think. Hey yo, quantity's king. Just had to put a soft cap. There's a branch of math dedicated to take discrete input and make it follow a function shaped like you want. I think it's more a normal distribution chopped at one point. What are you saying? There's like a diminishing returns calculator? Wouldn't you have to know more information about the way they've set it up in order to be able to do a calculation like that? I mean, that'd be cool if they had something like that exists. Might be a little over my head as far as the math goes. I'm good with basic math, but I'm definitely not a mathematician, that's for sure. One, two. I can count to 12. I can count 12 strong boxes on the map. That's for sure. I'm really not meaning to do like this part of the test right now. It's too late at night for me to do it, but I guess I'm in here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It does kind of feel like I've sunk a little bit below diminishing returns on this one. Not nearly enough maps. I think it was 17, right? I'm gonna redo this section. Honestly, I'm not paying enough attention. This is the one I really wanted to figure out tonight. But I'll probably figure out the other part of it off stream and then make a video about it. I can count to 12 on all my fingers. No, I need my toes. I'm playing with no socks right now. That's how I'm counting all of these. I think the best way to do the test is not funny way, just zoom and count as you replay your VOD with coffee and a pen and paper. Actually, probably true. That sounds way more fun. I think I'll probably do it like that, to be honest. It's a good idea. Yeah, doing it like that, I'm actually way more willing to do like 20 maps on a bunch of different, or maybe even more, like maybe like 50 maps. Because if I can, play the way I want to play, then I'm way more willing to spend a little more time and effort into figuring out where they sit. Yeah, good call. Well, I mean, at least we can say for anyone watching, without a doubt, there's diminishing returns. Don't go too high up. I don't know where to tell you to go yet, but it's seeming. I'll do one more just to kind of get a rough idea. But it's seeming like I have dropped below them a little bit. But four maps is not enough to test in any sort of accurate way. When I was running the 20 and the 40% quantity the other day with the double, I was running double explicit, so that boosted the quantity too. But yeah, when I was running the two 3x1s with 12% explicit and one quantity, that felt like a really good spot. I felt like I was dropping insane amounts of stuff doing it like that. That's good. POE junkie idols must be perfected. Yeah, dude. Trust me, I know. I've wasted way more than I'll ever make off of them. At some point, I'm probably, oh shit, one, two. I'll probably throw on increased explicit per mod onto the idols that I have currently, just because I'm enjoying Strongboxes so much. Six, seven, 8, 9. Already counted those ones. 10, 11, and 11. No, dude, I'm still within diminishing, I bet. I think I just got two unlucky streaks. Wow, dude, that's so crazy. Okay, so more non-containment, is it like 5% or what's that symbol? Is it the symbol for British pounds? I don't know what that symbol is. Oh, 3%. You said it right below that. Okay, so more non-containment, is it 5% or 3% explicit I want? It depends what you want to do. If you want to take the time out to farm a bunch of 8 mod maps and then run those instead of just quantity your own maps, that's how you're going to decide which one you want to go with. Personally, I don't want to farm 8 mod maps, although they may be very good to do. I don't know. I didn't run it like that. Um, I'm sure they would be good to do. You just have to farm the maps, which is the part I didn't want to do. But yeah, basically, if you want to run 8 mod, then you go for 3% per mod, and then if you want to run uh, just scour, alk, go quality chiseled, then you run the 5% per quality. Up to you, sir. The 8 mod with the 3% per mod definitely is a lot more quantity on your map. for sure. But then you either have to take a bunch of time to self farm them or spend a bunch of currency to buy them. Is it worth it? I don't know. Probably. Is it better? I don't know. Maybe. If you buy them, it basically doubles the price of your map, though. So you probably want to self farm them. I gotta overcap my resistances. I also want to go back to Glacier. These are too spread out. I don't like it. Makes my maps take too long. When you get stuff like Stream of Monsters and the ones that are gonna reopen but have guys scattered around, you can just run off and open up all the ones next to it while you wait. But with this, you have to like, yeah, just makes your map take too long. I don't know if it's actually better in the end. I also don't feel like I'm really getting all that many quantity alters. It's not like insane or anything. I mean, I can't click this one unfortunately because I'm not overcapped. The nurse. Oh, if only it was a month ago. I also got the doctor too, man. That was so disappointing. It was like one divine each. It's ugly. You know what else I was thinking? I, so I keep trying to figure out like is corrupted worth it or not. And basically the information I can get is like sometimes they roll more than your normal amount of mods, I guess, but dude, I don't really see it. And I'm like, is it actually better than just putting increased explicit effect and guaranteeing that all your strong boxes have like 10% more quantity? Like that would probably be better than corrupting and then like having one in, like look, that one there is 4 mod. Pop this one. This is like a normal strong box. These are all like just normal. They don't seem like they go up in mods or anything. Like where did this corrupted is good thing come from? Because I don't see a difference in any of my strong boxes at all. These just look like standard alked strong boxes. Who decided that this was better? I don't think I believe them. I think just putting more quantity on your idol might be better. Yeah, like none of them go 6 mod or anything. They're all just like basic ass. No love for the headhunter. I know, man. Rogue Exiles ruined it. Bubgun used the mage blood and killed the whole headhunter market. Whenever it's time in the league where essences become insane again, I was just talking about that. Yeah, like if you, I was just talking about revisiting old strategies that got nerfed into the ground, like beast farming or essences or something like that. Like they'll be high, they'll be high in the beginning, and then they'll drop to garbage, and then at a certain point in the league, they almost always resurface back as like a super super strong farm. I don't know, take a look at the prices. What's another one like Eldritch farming? Dude, the Grand Eldritch Altar, Grand Eldritch stuff right now is crazy expensive. Like 10 chaos per red. It's insane. So much so that I should probably be running on Searing Exarch just to get chances for that red Eldritch, honestly. The strangest thing about that league is that most of the farmed is capped around 20 div per hour. Which league? Not sure which league you mean. I'm gonna count this one too. One, two, three, four. Wait, yeah, three, four, five, six, seven. Only seven on this one. Damn, dude, where does the diminishing start and end? Couple of divine orbs, thank you, sir. Oh, this event, you mean? Well, you mean like most of the strategies are capped at 20 divine an hour? I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like there's so many that are really high. That's a misunderstanding you. Did for the second you explained essences, lol? Oh yeah. I bet you the items to do the essences are really cheap too. And I think a lot of stuff like that is like pretty well worked out for the best farm, like beasts and essences. I think some guys figured out like the absolute best way to do those early on. The information's still probably out there. I think you can find it on TFT or somewhere on Discord. A bunch of those strategies are public. Like a lot of the unique monster essence farming for the creativity. Was that a strategy this league? I didn't look at it. I saw very few strategies this league. I knew there were a bunch of broken ones. 2.5 for an exalted orb. That's not what we want, but I'll take it, I guess. That's lame though. I think I only found two divine shrines this whole league, man. I played a lot. I think it's so rare. It's really got me thinking though, like if the percent is diminished, then is the quantity diminished too? And like also, why are they diminishing it? That's kind of lame, dude. For an event like this, just let us have fun. Let me have every single box be Arcanus and Diviners, please. No one's really using these, are they? Ew. Yeah, the essence strategy with Remnant that pop two uniques once you kill a trapped essence monster. Oh, I think I've tried that. Sounds cool. I love essences. I can open essences for about 3 hours and I'll have the time of my life. And then after that, I am bored out of my mind. And the problem with strategies like that for me this league is it takes a long time to make an idle set to farm for 3 hours. I kind of want to look at essence prices though. I'm kind of curious. They were in the dumps. It was like, in essence, a horror was like 9 to 1 divine. It was insane. It made crafting stuff amazing, but farming it, no thanks. 6 to 1, still kind of low. But is it low? Wow. It's the what are the valuable ones? Scorn. Oh wow. I mean, so these prices are a little bit worse than what a normal league would be. Like I think normally you'd expect Scorn to be sitting around 10 to 1. You'd expect Woe to probably be around 35 to 1 at this stage of the league. But the thing is you can farm like 10 times the essences as you could in a regular league, right? So in a regular league where you'd make like 40 divine an hour doing this, if they're only, 1.5x less valuable or whatever, then you probably would make a killing with these right now. I bet you. I bet you. Rage usually isn't that crazy, right? Zeal is kind of a mid-tier one. Nope. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. It's been a while since I Essence farmed. Yeah, I bet you these would be insane. Dude, the re-rolling process for this, though. You'd probably have, like, because the way you want to farm these is generally you want to re-roll them. How much is, wait, hold on. How much is, blue? That's really cheap still. It's my cheapest essence. 124 to 1. You could probably find better than that, right? Oops. I bet you could make so much money re-rolling these right now. Like so much money. If you're feeling like a little bored hideout warrior. With the cost of this life force right now. Misery's probably not worth stopping on. Woe is probably worth stopping on. Fear's definitely not worth stopping on. Dread was worth stopping on. Rolling too fast because I don't really actually want to do this, but just kind of thinking it through while I roll. Spite probably isn't very good either. I mean, you're pretty much just looking for, like, usually want to go in and find the best five or so and keep those. But it's going to cost me probably a quarter of a divine to convert all these. Yeah, I'm not doing enough research to actually figure it out, but you could probably double your money. I bet you. Almost make a divine just from hitting Scorn with one. Yeah, that'd be cool. If I get really, really, really bored one day, maybe. I'm not certain on that, by the way. I'm just assuming you'd make a lot of money. I would have to sit down with the numbers real quick, but I bet you there's huge potential in it if you look at it for a second and you like doing stuff like that. Scared additional ward on unique monster. Oh, okay. Juice Farm is scary too. They make in one maps what I did in 10 in the previous leagues. Yeah, that's there's been some interesting farms coming out lately that look pretty insane. But yeah, I think the most interesting one, Snoobase looked interesting. I didn't look at it enough, but it did look interesting. Um, I don't think it's like the best. I don't think it's beating Titanic Exiles, but it did look good. Definitely looked more accessible as far as like the character requirements. It could be on par with Titanic Exiles actually. It was pretty damn good, honestly. From the short little parts of that video I watched, it looked like he had a pretty solid farm under control. I don't know. He always hit like corrupted blood on 2 jewels or something like he did, and then count that in his profits. And it's like, all right, dude. But it looked really good. I mean, I guess I did that too with the House of Mirrors and the Hidden Chorus. But I did say 35 divine an hour. That's your baseline. Anything over that, you might be able to hit like the 70 and the 90s, but it's going to be with luck. I also think if I get these idols right, it'll probably exceed 35 divine an hour baseline with like the right balance of idols. You've not seen a crazy Strongbox? Didn't I thought POE guy put one out. I thought he was just talking about Veil Temple. Saw something come across my YouTube feed about that. I tried it for a quick second and I was like, I don't want to do this. It's too meh. I'm not a big fan of farming like double corrupted stuff. I haven't done this boss forever. I'm like way overdue on this screaming. I was looking at a way to farm these super quick too, man. They're like almost up to like 2 divine per one of these things right here. It's insane. He did, you wouldn't call it crazy. Which part wouldn't you call crazy? The farm? Ultimatum has been goaded for currency. I've heard that a handful of times. Yeah, I've heard people have been saying it's really good. Times at 9 o'clock. I think this will be my last map. I'll have to timestamp my findings. Oh shit. Was I 3 hours in when I did the test? Oh no. I'm not gonna be able to find it now. Just drop 3x the cheater from one div box, 12 divine. Damn. Yeah, sometimes you just go on streaks with these, man, where it just like rains stuff down. Just get some crazy valuable cards back to back, all that out of nowhere. It's like, I think why I like it so much. I mean, I'd love to do the lock in the mirror at some point again, but I think the divination cards are what really makes it fun for me. Duping the House of Mirrors and the Immortal was cooler than duping the locks to me so far. It's work all the time, most of the time. You do Ted Hunters 70 div? What, like the beginning of the league? You know what? I think I am actually getting a lot of quantity alters. My build just sucks and I can't click a lot of them. I can't click power charge. I can't click endurance. I can't click negative rarity. My build's a little bitch. I could probably get away with actually on strong boxes. I probably could click them. I think I'm just my brain is so in the habit of not clicking them from exiles. Ultimatum is really build specific. Yeah, I mean I could see that. If I was gonna do ultimatum, I think it would be on my other monitor with an AFK build. I could never do ultimatum back to back as my main gaming experience. I think I might actually lose my mind. But I've heard it's really good. Zoom Zoomer. I just can't do Ultimatum. I feel like Ultimatum isn't Zoom Zoomer. Ultimatum is stand in a circle. Fucking wait it out. Oh shit, I said that was my last one, huh? Alright, one more. This is where the mirror is. Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried a full-blown ultimatum strategy. Pretty much any lead mechanic in this game I find fun for a minute. Like I can do anything for a little bit, but there's very few things that I can do back to back. I think like Strongboxes and Exiles, those are like my. I kind of have a hard time doing anything else for like days on end. Exiles was the most fun, dude. I had so much fun at that farm, but it's ran its course on me for the moment, for sure. You know what I could do? I could just like talk about the diminished returns again at the end of the video or VOD or whatever, and then I'll timestamp that. That way I don't gotta go back through and find it. I'm so smart. POE 2. POE 2 has a box. I don't know if I'd call it strong. It definitely has a box. Like I haven't seen Valdez in forever. You get so many of those. The thing with like timestamps is like people don't even look at them half the time. I'll put timestamps for stuff in the details of videos, and then I get so many questions about the same thing that I timestamped. I'm like, dude, I timestamped it. I just don't even think people see them. Especially on like VODs that are this long, that you can barely even tell that there's a timestamp. Especially if I put it at the end too. Unless you actually go and look in the details. You can find the crafting timestamp on the 5 hour video. I got you. I got you, fam. Unless it's not there. That would really suck because I made a lot of references to that. If I did timestamp it, that would suck. Yeah, it's there. This one right here. And then click on this one is an example of it working out, and this is an example of me deleting 400 divines doing the exact same thing. You just watched the whole 5 hours? Damn, well, I appreciate the 10 cents, but yeah, it wasn't on that video that you were watching. Sorry. It's bait to farm engagement, yeah. I get a whole 2 pennies from people going back and checking that out. Gotta pay my rent somehow. Didn't know which one. Yeah, sorry, dude. I referred to it a couple of times initially, but I did it early on, and then later I kind of clarified more about what I was talking about, and I didn't say which one it was, and I was like, I know this is going to catch some people up, because even though I said which one it was early on, when I referred to it later, I didn't, and I was like, that's gonna mess some people up, especially since I said I crafted a strongbox idol, but it wasn't on the strongbox VOD. Yeah, I knew it was going to be problematic. The stamp is there. All right, we'll finish this up, and I'm going to go over the findings again real quick, and then I'm going to go eat some food, and I will timestamp the findings as well. What is this box? Armors? All right, so where are we at here? 3 hours and 45 minutes. Wow, what a streamer I am. The whole 3 hours I made it. So if you increase your Arcanists and Diviners up from 630% to 900% uh, combined, right? So it's 900% each and 630% each. I have about exact idols, give or take 1% or two. You get an entire one less strong box that is Diviners or Arcanists. So do not go up this high on your Arcanists and Diviners. It is better to sacrifice some and go into quantity of items contained in your strong box. I do not know how far you're supposed to drop this down. Um, I did a very rough count on this percentage, and that's about what that came out to, but it's not enough maps. None of these are really enough maps to give perfect, awesome, definitive numbers. I'm going to have to go deeper. I'm going to have to run a lot more maps. But certainly there is a diminishing return, so do not spend all your money on these idols. Drop your percentage down a bit and grab quantity instead. I believe they will be your best in slot. And there it is. So your 789% diviners is trash. Yes, sir. So I wouldn't call it trash, but I would definitely sell some of it off. I too thought it would be really good, but when I got on today and I was farming these, I was like, wait, this is way worse than I did this last time. What's going on? And it turns out there is some diminishing returns going on. So I wouldn't call it trash. It's not trash, but yes, I think 800% is a little too high. I don't know. This was about 500%. And honestly, it kind of looked the same as 600, but they're really close. It's hard to say. I didn't run enough maps. I didn't count enough. But yeah, I think as of right now, with the information I have, I would aim somewhere for like 500 to 600, but it may even be diminished more than that. It's trash. Give it to me to repurpose. Yeah, don't give it to him. He's scamming you. Yeah, I don't know how many of these 20% quantity idols you should be running. I also don't know if increased explicit would be better with one additional strongbox. I really doubt that, though. That wouldn't make sense to me. Yeah, get a few more of these. Sell off your other ones. Make some of your currency back. That's scamming you all, double your money. I've heard that a few times. No rest, no food for the wicked farmer. Oh, dude, I'm starving. I need to eat. We're at the end of the league. I'm slowing down. I got to get ready to go not farm in POE 2 when it comes out. But all right, boys. I gotta go say hi to the girlfriend. It's 9:30. Jesus, I gotta go eat some food. Yeah, there's a little information for you. It's not perfect yet, but I'll work on it a little bit more. But so far, that's where we're sitting. You get 10% more box for 300% more Arcanus and Diviners. Interesting. All right, boys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate y'all. And I'll catch you next time.